Okay, well, you hit the button just as I was about to ring up. Hey, did you realize this is what's up? We don't have a little overlay of us with headphones and stuff. It's just the chat overlay.
Oh, got it. Ah, that's
If
right.
that'll hack your setup up,
It's
I don't
not.
think it's a huge. But well,
No, no, no. It'll
Square Enix has to one way. Let us hold on.
the what?
No, it's okay. You finished it. The what do they call it? Attract mode started playing for a second there.
Ah,
So welcome to What's Up.
hello.
We're doing something semi-interesting today, which is like he said before we started going live for y'all, that he wanted to test the remote play feature on the PS5 because we've been wanting to test that for a long time. You know, we're bad at stuff.
Yes.
So now is as good a time as any, and it was actually utterly seamless, other than I had to remember to actually look at the screen that's behind me and get the notification that we were doing the sharing, but otherwise, so y'all are going to see Lucky stream Nier Replicant to you, but I'm going to see Lucky stream Nier Replicant to me, which is actually much faster.
Yeah.
It's probably a little blurrier at times, because I've noticed that during some of our testing, it does kind of like get a little artifacty when it goes super fast to like keep the fast connection, but otherwise it's pretty good.
Oh yeah, no. Like I've tried it with a couple of my friends, and we've used it for stuff, but this is one. But I wanted to use this because again, like we're always talking about playing things together, or or games that are near and dear to us, but without the ability to consolidate ourselves right now. We've kind of put it on the back hold. But with us both having PS5, I was kind of figuring that we both have enough juice to at least pull this off.
Yeah, there's a couple of things we can try it with. There's probably some stuff we want to like hypothetically do on a couch, but other stuff is fine to do this way with the stream thing. Like for reference, think about just like how Game Grumps has kind of done some different things over the past year, because at first they were okay, but then they traveled a little bit, so they had to be apart. And there are just some games that don't work comedic timing wise with internet lag, even as unlaggy as this setup is.
Yeah.
There's just some stuff you want to do on a hypothetical couch.
Yeah. But yeah, so Nier Replicant came out yesterday, or as I've been calling it, Yoko Taro's Wild Ride.
Accurate.
Very accurate. Well, to be fair, anything Yoko Taro has his hands in is a wild ride in some point. Actually, Lucky has been on a bit of a kick of picking up Yoko Taro titles. Like in the past 3 weeks, I've gotten Drakengard 3, Nier Replicant, Nier, like the OG PS3 Western one, and picked up Nier Automata, Game of the Yorha edition. Fuck that book. You can't force me to read!
Fuck you, literature!
But the... Oh, shit. But
hey, you gotta fight a guy already.
I gotta fight a guy already. It's like, give me that tutorial! I'm gonna beat them with this fucking...
It's like fake letterbox... Yeah, letterboxing effect is kind of weird, too.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting here as well. Oh, here we are.
There you go.
Ah, sweet. I can defend.
That's always good when an action game tells you you can defend.
Oh, man. What were we playing when, like, there... Oh, yeah, Strikers is just...
Yeah, it's Striker, there's no guard. There's just... tank it.
Oh, yep. I've already figured out the lock on.
You're locking on, you're hitting.
Yep, we good. But no, I've always liked the Yoko Taro games. Like I said, I started playing Yoko Taro games back for, which arguably could be said his first game, Drakengard for his PS2. Technically, Yoko Taro has worked on games before that, but he was not in any sort of management position. Only when he founded Kavia with one of the guys from Ace Combat. that he did it. Oh yeah, no, that's why.
Also, I want to say no wonder these games are so ludicrous at times.
Yeah,
having played some Ace Combat in my day.
Oh yeah, no, that's why Dragon Guard's kind of the way it is. With they can't go really combat with the aerial combat. It's like no, the guy's like no, let's get a fucking dragon in there. So
that would be. I know some people have talked about getting like some Dragon Guard trilogy remaster or something in there. No, that would be really interesting to see. I've been talking about this. I have actually played a little bit more of my replay of AC7 again. Mm-hmm. I'm definitely thinking like that's an interesting game series as well. That I was like, when are you gonna like I know you did AC7 for the first time in a long time and it was super successful and they're still making DLC and stuff. It's like, when are you guys gonna bring that action back? Give me like a remaster of an old AC, do like AC8. I don't know, give me some real new content. New planes are cool, but
mm-hmm.
give me some new missions because this game is great.
Yeah.
Talking. Oh, there's some more spooky guys. I guess fight.
Yep.
I was about to say, oh, it looks like you can wander around and do stuff. No, You can't do stuff under your own power yet.
I don't have a name yet. That's why I was trying to figure out what's the question mark. Oh, pain. Oh, it. Oh, interesting.
Oh, you're dead.
I'm dead now.
You're dead, Dave.
But Dragon Guard, I played Dragon Guard. Oh God, when was it? I don't know. I don't think I was. I think. Jeez, when did Dragon Guard come out? It was.
Yeah, I'm about to say I don't even know when that. It was PS2 era, but I don't know when it came out.
Oh, here comes the deal with the fucking devil, I guess. But I started playing that, and when I first started playing it, I was like, I have no idea what's going on. Oh.
What's interesting here immediately is I picked up on the fact that while it also glows red, there's a decent amount of the same yellow glow that these guys have in the book glow. Just like immediately noticing subtle touches.
Fist!
Oh shit, you're super anime now.
Man, knowledge is power.
Knowledge is swole.
But so I
do want to just say I like by the way that the thing here is that like you're clearly out on your own with your sister. You've got a pipe.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
And your solution is not get a real weapon. It's Dark Handbook.
Well, to be fair, a
lot of these guys.
Yep.
By the way, this is how you should do like quote unquote hopeless fights. Like just wait until you inevitably get hit and just like no, looks like you fucked up. Let's just do the cutscene.
Yep. Rather
than make you actually do the fight and then have it end.
Yeah, like actually.
Yes, somebody's told us in chat. Dragon Guard came out September 11th, 2003. So yes, it has been a while.
Yeah, no. So I think I got it. Oh, altering their effects. Any point? Okay.
See, you're fighting baby in it.
Oh, interesting. All right. Uh-oh.
Very blasé about the level ups.
They might not actually mean anything because that's the thing. Yoko Taro is he has thoughts. He has feelings.
He knows what he's doing. I mean, do we want to get controversial right away in the first 10 minutes?
Sure, go for it. Why not? I mean, we're here for Yoko Taro's wild ride.
Yeah, so Yoko Taro is known for his very idiosyncratic games.
Yeah.
He's a guy, well, he's known for his idiosyncrasies, period.
Yeah.
Going out with only wearing the Emil head. So that's just, very much. And I think it's really interesting the way he does this kind of stuff. Like, you brought up the clip from him trying to sell the Nier Automata t-shirt where he just rolls around on the floor.
And then yells, shit, Square Enix. Or Square Enix shit.
Yeah, shit, Square Enix. Like, but I want to say it's very interesting. Like, ultimately, his games are usually kind of positive. Like
ish. Like
he has a dark sense of humor, but if you get to the real end, usually it's supposed to be kind of a net positive thing. Like he's not afraid to make you feel things, but if you actually do all the fucking hard work to get the true ending of Nier Automata, which I haven't done because it requires you to play the game a lot to do it.
Like, honestly, guys, if I beat, like, I might keep playing Nier Replicant, and if I beat it, I might just go into my Nier Automata and play the Game of the Year edition and beat that, because I've only gotten 2 of the endings.
Not counting joke endings, I'm
sure. Not counting joke endings.
Again, because Yoko Taro is a madman. He's incredibly goofus.
Oh, are they just letting me see all the different fucking powers now? Yeah, I think it is. It's just the fucking roll of powers, because my powers keep changing.
That said, what you might want to do is also just New Game Plus Nier, because it's got a lot of extra stuff that's got in there. Mm-hmm. It's really interesting, right? Like I'm reading some info, and a lot of people are saying that his games were cult hits, until like Nier was a success critically, but wasn't like a huge breakout. It was still a cult game. It wasn't until Automata where he got like really, really big, which is assuredly why Nier has been remade, obviously.
Yeah.
Because he was like, oh shit, you guys give a shit now, you know? But he's not afraid to poke jokes at a lot of tropes and stuff, not afraid to like do some stuff which you don't like.
Mm-hmm. He's not afraid of being He's not afraid of being controversial.
Mm-hmm. I also want to say, like, another thing he's infamous for is he doesn't care about the horniness. He's signed cosplayers' legs and stuff. He doesn't give a shit. He appreciates the art he puts into things.
Yeah.
We made a whole elaborate joke about this off mic the other day about him and Hideo Kojima, who I feel like are not the same but are similar levels of like auteurs for their games, right?
Yeah.
Like
they have a vision.
I would also say that I do think Kojima and Taro have some similar tones where like there's a lot of really fucked up shit that happens in like Metal Gear Solid and Death Stranding and stuff, but like ultimately Hideo Kojima wants you to come out of that game and be like, but you can do it though.
I don't know, but like for Yoko Taro is not afraid to have dark and bad endings. Like
no, Yoko Taro's thing is much more about iteration, I would say, with the multiple endings.
Yeah, because usually your first ending that you get is not that great. Like the first couple you get, not that great. Sometimes even the last couple ones are not that great. Heck, fucking Nier is based on the follow-up to a Drakengard ending, actually. It's based off technically the joke ending. I don't remember exactly how you fucking get it. But basically, you're fighting the final boss, you and your dragon, and a portal opens up, and you get sent to Earth. At which point, you finally beat the big bad, but then you and your dragon get shot down by a fighter jet, and it's alluded to that the fighter jet is a character from the Ace Combat series. So, like, yeah, no, if we're following up on this, no, the characters from the previous game died for this one. God, Drakengard's like kind of one of the worst ones. I don't think there's any actually good endings in Drakengard, the original one. I think all 5 are just levels of oof.
But yeah, like he has an idiosyncratic style. Yeah, Drakengard is all bad ends. People are saying in chat.
Yeah.
Like, and technically, we do want to throw out there, Lucky and I know that he did not, like, serve in a directorial capacity on Drakengard 2, but it's still Drakengard 2. He worked on 1 and 3, and 2 is in the middle.
Two, he was in 2, but he was the video editor.
Yeah, he did not take a directorial role on 2. He was just like, But that makes sense if it doesn't have his directorial touch, if it's the most normal.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, basically,
I'm doing something wrong. I just realized.
He's a strong auteur. He's not afraid of doing some interesting stuff, and like I said, being very trolly. And Nier Replicant did just come out, but in the lead up to it, there was a little bit of a thing.
There we go. Yeah, I just got to level 30. This is some bullshit happening right now. I'm gonna lose all this.
This is Yoko Taro's like, I don't give a shit. Your level doesn't matter. Why would it matter? We're waiting. We're waiting for it to happen.
Yeah, okay, I guess gotta go check on my sister.
Alright, yeah, it wants you to go back. Okay. Sword away, classic move.
Mm-hmm.
With the little touches.
Oh, she's still there. Yay.
Gotta do the whole, like, camera swing around. Do a seamless camera transition.
Mm-hmm. But...
Wow, rude.
What?
Somebody said Drakengard is all bad in chat. In patron chat. How very rude.
How very rude. Well, fuck you. I like Drakengard. It's why I spent, like, literally, like, how much did I spend on it? Like, $97 to get a copy of it.
I have to admit, I haven't really, like, I've only played Automata, and I've only played a little bit. I've played through the A ending, and then part of the way through the second one before I was like, this is a little tedious playing the game again, but as 9S basically, with slightly different mechanics.
Oh shit! That's a hell of a sickness.
I mean, so I can get what this person is saying. They've said that they're like, I don't appreciate when games call the player a bad person for playing them. Like, if you go full on with that, and I wouldn't be surprised if Yoko Taro has done that in the past. I haven't actually played Drakengard, can't comment. Like, that can get a little annoying if the game is just like, why did you buy this game? Fuck you. I'm like, okay, buddy, pal, friend. I gave you money to have an experience. Why are you taunting me about paying you, basically?
Well, actually, do you know why Yoko Taro made Drakengard? Because he was looking at a bunch, I can't remember what he was looking at, but he was all like, man. Oh yeah, he was watching other people play other games. It's like, man, players really like to go out there and kill a fuck ton of things super fucking happily. They must be insane. And he put that into Drakengard.
Yeah, which is the same. Like, that's the same with like the free levels. So it's like, yeah, he's got a weird, dark, twisted style.
Yeah,
that's not afraid to make you work for stuff. He's not afraid to comment on topics that are normally not addressed at all in video games. Like, it's even talking about like.
But also, still, fuck you, a person who said just Drakengard is just all bad. Just stop.
Like, it's. I mean, this is what happens when you get deconstructive. And honestly, like, the thing to always remember is that a creator is a work in progress too. Like, if you compare it to, say, like, how Automata is, where, like, yes, Automata does question why you're doing things, kind of, but also doesn't. You're just in a war versus the machines. Why? I don't fucking know. Like, it's almost like a shift in his tone where he's like, he stopped questioning it because the players didn't give a shit. And he's just like, I guess we just fight stuff, you know?
That's a lot of years.
It is a lot of years. I also like how the architecture, like, resets. Like, we wrapped around from the post-apocalyptic future to now this looks very medieval. I wonder if that's what we're going for. But, yeah, it's an interesting thing. And, like, you should ask yourself those questions. Why do you not give a shit how many mooks you murder in a video game? It's probably because the video game is not real, but a lot of games also provoke very real emotional responses, so it's an interesting dichotomy.
I know, and that's one of the things I think I like most about Yoko Taro games is it's not necessarily just he's not afraid to call shots about games tropes and the players themselves. You can see a lot of commentary on the culture and genres as a whole, but through playing his games. And I do think there's something to be said, like he himself has said that the reason why he makes such weird, quirky games is because he wouldn't be able to stand out, not even while employed by Square Enix. You know, he would not be able to stand out in worlds of, like, Final Fantasy or Dragon Quest, which I will say Final Fantasy is definitely not afraid to do different shit each time. I don't know why. Maybe it's because the first game was like a Hail Mary. Yeah. But my understanding is I've seen a lot of Dragon Quest games come out. If you, like, other than the graphical quality, if you, like, took the context out of them, I don't know if I'd be able to tell Dragon Quest games apart.
Like, that franchise is super beloved by Japan, which means to me it's super samey. Like, as not a Dragon Quest guy, I'm just like, okay, that's a new Dragon Quest game. That's cool. It's got the Akira Toriyama style, people in it. There's some girl with big boobs. There's slimes. There's a demony guy. Okay.
Fuck yeah, Puff Puff. Oh, I can use mailboxes to save my progress. Okay.
But like, it's really interesting to kind of go back and forth.
Yeah, no, but like I said, like again, Yoko Taro is one of those games that I like to go to have, and I put this in air quotes, an experience. Like Yoko Taro game, I'm gonna have to put on my fucking thinking cap, and I'm gonna be all like, how does this make me feel, and why does it make me feel this way? Like already there's some people who are not liking how the game is. Thankfully, it doesn't seem to be a huge group. But I know.
Yeah. So I was gonna bring this up because we were talking about how your boy Yoko Taro doesn't shy away from many concepts which just normally aren't commented on at all.
Yeah.
Like, sexual and mass violence is definitely commented on, and he just doesn't. He's just like acknowledges them. So I definitely saw this, and then I also noticed that you saw this as well.
Yes.
Yeah. Twitter trends and nonsense stuff. Keeping in mind that, like, listen, sometimes really interesting stuff happens on Twitter, and other times you're like,
why?
You get an article for some news site that was like yesterday. It was like it was saying the Hime cut is sweeping the internet. I'm like, what the fuck have you been for the last 20 years, internet? Like, is this some cultural appropriation shit? I've known what the Hime cut is since I was a child, thanks to anime. It's a thing. What the fuck is happening? Yeah, that's a good one. Did Twitter get mad? It must be a day that ends in Y. Correct. But so, I don't know what it is about. Maybe it's because the responses are supposed to be short, but like, Twitter definitely calls out the most pitying, nonsense, rage-baiting responses from everybody.
Yeah. Like,
people just like to do hot takes on Twitter, and I don't know why. I don't know why, because that shit doesn't go away. People will remember it forever.
Forever. It's on the internet.
And you'll probably have to apologize. Like, I don't think I've said anything hot takey online that I am not 100% standing by.
I try to phrase things so that you normally won't know exactly what I'm talking about unless you know what exactly what I'm talking about.
Right. Something that'll be hard for people to take out of context because it's just a generic context.
Yes.
That's a good way to approach things. Mostly I just point funny memes. Yes,
Carlos put his way. Yoko Taro is the DM that asks, why are you murder hobos?
I mean, it's a good question sometimes.
Yeah.
Why are you killing so many enemies to get to my plot? Because they're there. Like, and I would say there is something of maybe a little bit of a misbalance because Yoko Taro gets to sass you for free and you don't get to sass him back except in your house alone. Or possibly on the internet in front of hundreds of people.
I mean, I'm pretty sure I could go to, I'm pretty
sure...
That's
true. You could probably actually, speaking of Twitter hot takes, you could probably go on Twitter and yell at Yoko Taro, and he might yell back. Again, talking about how he is so weird and idiosyncratic. But, like, that definitely, I think that for some people falls in what we call the punch down zone, where you feel like Yoko Taro is punching down on you for buying his game and stabbing his enemies. And you can't just be like, okay, Yoko Taro, why did you program all these enemies for me to fight, Because that is definitely a thing with game design of, like, I know a lot of people who engage with game mechanics because the mechanics are there, right? Like, you're playing a game and you're like, oh, the developers put a lot of time into this. They must, like, want me to engage with this. And then occasionally you get game developers like Yoko Taro, but not exclusively him, who are like, yo, dog, why did you engage with that? That's actually kind of problematic of you. Which leads us to the Twitter controversy, allows us to look back, which is some people were upset that there is a trophy/achievement in Nier Replicant for attempting to look up Kane's skirt.
Yes. The trophy and title is called Daredevil, and I believe it's discovered...
The phrasing is do it 10 times to discover a character's secret.
Yes.
Which, for possibly semi-spoiler reasons, I don't know. I've known this for years just because it was a thing that popped up. But
yeah.
Kane is an intersex character, so there are some people who are a little bothered by this. We should clarify, obviously, neither of us are intersex, and I don't know a lot of people who are, so like our opinions are our own.
Yes.
That said, a lot of people angry on Twitter are also not intersex, so what the fuck do they know?
Yeah. Now,
as is usual, a lot of angry white people get pissed off on the behalf of others.
Yeah, no. Now,
so yeah, somebody brought this up in chat, actually, in patron chat as well. The Automata achievement.
Yeah, that is, I believe it's called "What Are You Doing," which is the exact same thing. Now,
I believe that I've heard that the text is exactly the same, and also I do want to say that from what I understand, again, because hey, guess what? I haven't done this because you don't have to. It's optional.
And I believe the achievement is hidden too, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a hidden trophy / achievement, and I also believe, from what I've been told, that in Automata, you can do it not just to 2B, which obviously, I mean, sure, 2B's got a great ass. You don't have to do it on a ladder to see it, though, because of the character design. It's very deliberate with the short dresses and stuff. Again, Yoko Taro knows what he's doing. But I do also believe you can get that achievement if you do it on other playable characters, including 9S. At which point, speaking of the game sassing you for doing stuff, like, if you do that in Automata, 2B will kick the camera and be like, what the fuck? Which I have heard and assume is probably what happens in Replicant if you do that. Because it's Yoko Taro. He's not afraid to call you out on being an asshole, basically.
Like I said, like, I'm not putting this on the hands of players. I mean, in the game developers, I'm putting this in the hand of players. Like, why are you, the player, trying to look up the skirt for a trophy that you probably didn't actually know about unless someone else fucking told you?
Right, which, and that's one of those things where, like, this is one of those things that gets sucked horribly out of context.
Yeah.
Like, people are like, oh my god, this is so, like, disrespectful to this character. It's really bad. It's, you know, it's like, this is literally the exact same thing that they have already done, and the context is all entirely the same, and I don't know, maybe, I'm assuming people are like, and I don't want to be all, like, gatekeepy, like, oh, these people aren't real gamers, they don't understand, but, like, I'm wondering if more casual gamers who are like, or even some gamers who are more hardcore but are all about that gamer score or whatever, are like, it's a trophy, it's an achievement, this must be a reward, this must be the game's telling me to do something. Guys, trophies and achievements are not always good things.
No.
Especially if you're on Mr. Yoko Taro's wild ride. But there are a lot of games which quote unquote reward you for doing very bad, fucked up, no good things. That's become a subversive trope in of itself to, like, give you a nice job stick for doing something horrible. There are quite a few games who have adopted that gimmick. So yeah, to me it's just a big, you know, what about nothing that people were mad about for like 2 days and then they got over it.
Yeah.
This Hime cut thing is still trending.
Yeah,
it's because of a magazine article posted it, but it's really dumb. Something about TikTok, and is it also a K-pop thing? I don't know.
Oh.
They're like, somebody's been a trendsetter since 2019. No, I'm sure the Hime cut is out there, is ready. I mean, I guess it seems like some of the article is like, you may not know what this haircut you've definitely seen before is called, but I do, though. I know what it's called. It's an anime trope. It's very common. Anyway, Twitter is always like that for me. I'm like, if I see something trending, I almost never care.
I don't know.
Right now, there's apparently a Twitter trend about Girl Meets World because it was bad and not as cool as Boy Meets World, and I'm like, okay, cool, I never watched it.
Pig!
This is a very fat pig, but not very dirty.
Oh, it's not wallowing in mud.
I've just realized, because we've been talking about stuff, I've completely lost the context. So, this is, it said years, did it say years later or years before when you did that time transition? Okay, later. I was like, I'm pretty sure it said that. As we've returned to the medieval period.
Well, like I said, not like I said, but it's weird. Like, maybe after society collapsed, it has to rebuild, and if they don't have the means or the tools or the knowledge to rebuild, they would have to actually revert to a previous civilization style and start from scratch.
They're for starting from scratch. They've wrapped it back around remarkably advanced.
I'm
got some ruins. Okay.
Yeah, I'm guessing not all knowledge was lost.
Their stonework's very impressive, but now we've got the kind of thing. It's an interesting juxtaposition because Automata is.
I should have kept attacking the sheep.
He's chasing that sheep. He's gonna get it.
I'm gonna get that sheep. Okay, collect materials. Just rip it out of that sheep. Hey, wool.
See, this has a reason. You need to kill those sheep for their wool.
Yep.
But this is, like I said, this is kind of interesting. You've come from the medieval castle to the what looks like a railway bridge, right? Like a sprawling thing.
Mm-hmm.
But like, Automata is
what?
all basically post APOC.
I called all the sheep. Hello, sheep.
Hold on.
Hello, sheep. Hello. Hello. Ah!
Oh shit. Okay, never mind. It's open season. Once again, want to shout out the PS5 SharePlay feature. The timing on that was perfect. As Lucky screamed, he was kicked on my screen.
Okay, I'm not gonna fuck with the sheep. All right, I'm gonna go see what else is in the menu.
Pretty rad. But yeah, so obviously we don't really give a shit about the trophy.
Yeah, the sheep are fighting back.
Because you have to. That's once again, it's one of those things. That's a choice you have to make. Like just because the developer gives. That's the thing we're talking about, right? Like that's ultimately, I think, the point of a lot of this discussion about Yoko Taro is that like there's a lot of game design now that a lot of people do. It's not exclusive to Yoko Taro. He just likes this sort of thing, where the games will actually ask you like, do you want to do that? It's like it's exactly like Metal Gear Solid actually. Because we may want to talk about those Metal Gear Remaster rumors as well. But like that's the thing I remember very distinctly from 4, because I played 4 a fuck ton. Is
you did.
Hey, if you kill a shitload of dudes, like Snake has like an anxiety attack and he hears Liquid in his head yelling, "You enjoy all the killing. That's why." And then you puke on the floor, like. There are games in a style that get in there and like make your commentary about things. Well, this is a very funny thing. Oh, sorry, I was just reading. Apparently, in an interview when he was talking about, it was an interview about Automata, but people asked him about Nier, and he said that he thinks that people's interpretations of Nier's messages are awesome, but that he didn't think about any particular themes when he made the game. He just made it to be Yoko Taro.
Well, honestly, I think that's fair, because, like I said, everyone has different interpretations and sees things in different ways. So it is always a kind of a wild thing to put something out in the wild and see everyone's different interpretations and reactions to it. Like,
yes, I would say. Another common thing there is this is what we call applicability. It's very common in a lot of very popular stories. J.R. Tolkien, for instance, was very famous for saying that his stories were applicable. Like, a lot of people have interpreted Lord of the Rings to mean a lot of different things over the years, and Tolkien was like, no. There's no allegory. It's applicable. It's whatever you think it means that to you.
Yes. Kind
of a thing. So it's a decent stance to have.
It's a decent stance to have. Just don't try to force your applicability on other people. Fuck.
Yes, if you get too argumentative with people. So, Lucky, you're physically playing the game.
Mm-hmm.
We may or may not decide to test out the feature to have me play the game sometime in the middle, but I'm comfortable to let you run around and punch sheeps for now. How's it feel so far? You've done some tutorials and stuff.
The controls are a little heavy, I want to say.
A little chunky?
Yeah, like when I
I have a question. If people know, was Platinum involved with the remake, or is this just a straight up remaster of the OG version?
Platinum wasn't directly involved. I believe they had a dude come over and help and advise on some things, but they did not actually.
They did not, unlike Automata, where they handled a big chunk of the gameplay development.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, is probably why Automata was so well received and popular. Was they got Toy Logic did do the dev. Okay.
Yeah.
Because Platinum knows games. They make very good gameplay loops. Their games are very good. So.
I'm trying to remember what I need to do. I have forgotten already because I was talking. Oh, I need to get Mutton 3. Okay, thank you. Thank you. I do have to murder sheep.
By the way, I want to say this, talking about...
oh, yeah, it was a Platinum producer oversee it. That's what it was. Thank you.
Talking about Yoko Taro quotes, again, I want to bring up... Here's another one I found. Talking about character designs for Sino Alice, which he did work on as well. Mm-hmm. He said that, very cute, I believe she'll sell well. I'm like, no, yeah, that's just how he feels about stuff. You know, he's just like, no, this is a design, it will sell well. I believe Hideo Kojima had a similar discussion about Quiet's design in Metal Gear Solid 5, where he was like, this will sell great figures and make for very interesting cosplays. I'll figure out how it makes sense later. But yeah, so Lucky is playing Automata. I'm sure we'll have thoughts as that goes on. Gonna fight some guys, spooky, shady guys.
Screw these nerds.
Who have been hanging around for, 1,400 years.
Mm-hmm.
Being a problem.
I love this music, though. It's so light.
Yeah. The sound design for Automata was also really good, and I definitely get those vibes as well from this. Just get some casual, light, relaxing music as you go around, run around some big open areas. I assume that's probably another Yoko Taro hallmark, is these big zones you can wander through.
Oh, yeah.
Like, there are a lot of wide open areas in Automata. I assume because in Drakengard, you fly around on a dragon, there's some big open spaces as well.
Yeah, so. Drakengard, well, especially the first one. The second one was pretty much too, but they're pretty much Musou-style games of, here's thousands of enemies and you have a sword. Go nuts! So yeah, big wide open spaces. But yeah, that's our Yoko Taro talk. Again, if you guys ever get the chance, you should go look up I can't remember the exact name. I'm gonna have to go fucking...
Hold on, I'll pull up our YouTube tab. It's probably still in our history.
Mm-hmm.
But I assume you were referring to the Yoko Taro compilation.
Yes. Of just all the Yoko Taro, like a bunch, I don't know if it's all of them, but a bunch of Yoko Taro interviews and stuff. And you can just see how spicy and mad lad, and sometimes salty he is. I think one of my favorites...
the ultimate Yoko Taro compilation 4K. It's 40 minutes long.
I still think one of my favorites is the composer getting award and recognition for the soundtrack, and then he literally is all like, and let's have a comment from Yoko Taro-san, and you just pan over to just Yoko Taro just dead on the floor, just, yay.
I believe it was on air on Let's Talk the other day as well, but we did talk about that somebody did a very funny art for a comment from the producer of Nier Replicant, which was, he said that, please buy the game, it has to sell well, or basically, this wasn't an exact quote, but he said that basically Yoko Taro was going to kidnap him and they were going to have to sell copies of the game out of a van.
Yeah.
Please save me from Mr. Taro's van.
Yeah, the artist Yorha, who does a lot of Square Enix art, made a nice little doodle of this. I was like, I need this on a shirt. I would wear the fuck out of it. Just Yoko Taro.
The Taro power.
Oh, yeah, no. No, I'm thinking about it. Lucky's been considering expanding his wardrobe. I'm like, I'm going to need me some Yoko Taro goods here. Because honestly, like I said, I love Drakengard and I love Nier. I love the Nier series. I'm excited to see. I'm excited to see what comes next. Yoko Taro, the dude that has belief, said that they're working on the next thing. No one knows what that thing is. Everyone has their own speculation and whatnot, but who knows?
He's working on something.
Mm-hmm.
A thing. You know, that's how we do it. But yeah, so let's bring up then that other thing you mentioned, which is, I think this is a couple weeks old at this point, but there are rumors, allegedly. There was an alleged leak, but take it with a grain of salt, right? That Sony is in talks with Konami to produce a PS5 Metal Gear Solid HD collection again.
Ooh.
which hype and according to the leaker, this would be split into basically 2 different collections. The first one would be Twin Snakes.
Ooh.
The Twin Snakes version, 2 and 3, and then the second half would be a HD remaster of 4. So I'm very excited if this is true. I really hope it's true. Mostly because while I do in fact own the Metal Gear Solid HD collection, it is on my PS3, and it did also not include Twin Snakes, though I own an original PS1 copy of MGS. It's not quite the same.
Did Twin Snakes only come out on the GameCube? I forget.
Originally, yes. I think it may have been, that version may have been ported some other times, but it was originally in GameCube, and it was not on the last remaster collection.
Yeah, because that's where I played Twin Snakes. I played it on the GameCube, so I was like...
And some people have also noted that this doesn't include Peace Walker, which was on the HD collection. They did an HD remaster of Peace Walker, which is where I played it first. I did not play it on a PS Vita. That would be a little sad to go because Peace Walker is both actually super relevant for the plot and also a very interesting little fun game. Because it's the bridge between 3 and 5, ironically. Thanks, Hideo Kojima. Oh. But yeah, that's pretty interesting. I hope it's true. Hell, I'll just take the Metal Gear Solid 4 remaster.
Yeah, I would too.
I know they did some like really late game update on like the post game trophy integration, because trophies were not mandatory when Metal Gear Solid 4 came out.
No.
It also disabled the Metal Gear Online service, which makes me very sad.
I played that a lot.
Yeah, I did. It was pretty fun. That was probably my first like online DLC package, was buying like voices and characters in Metal Gear Online, because I really liked it. It was way jankier back in the day. But yeah, I'd take the 4 HD remaster because I think I mentioned this off mic as well. 4 is one of those rare games that I have actually done the full apeshit mode, and I beat all the different difficulties. I did all the different like extra runs. Like I really loved playing that game, and I played it a fuck ton. Right. Like I did all the, I did the no kills, I did the no alarms run. I never did them at the same time because why do that? The other way's smarter. It's way easier to do a no alarms run if you're not afraid to use silent murder weapons. And on the other hand, it's way easier to do a no kills run if you just load up with shotguns with beanbag rounds, and you don't give a shit about alarms. Oh, that's true. Somebody in Patreon chat said that Peace Walker was their first entry to the Monster Hunter series. That's technically true for me as well, I guess. I was always really shit at the Monster Hunter crossover stuff. But it is in there. But yeah, no, I would really appreciate if they brought that game back in HD. I'd love to see that game, because we've made several jokes before, Lucky, about the PS3 install times for 4.
Oh god, yeah.
Instead of multiple discs, you had to install each act as you did it because it was so huge and chunky. And I'd love to see the game on the PS5 with like no load times, everything all installed at once, right? Like just how would that flow? Would you still get access to the tip screen of Snake smoking in between each segment? Who knows? It could be pretty cool. And like I said, I've never played Twin Snakes, so I wouldn't mind that coming back in some form as well. So I hope the leak is true. I'd play the heck out of that. It would also certainly make our own plans to, at some point, speaking of franchises we want to do a complete retrospective on, it would definitely help us in our own quest to play all of Metal Gear Solid on stream. I say Metal Gear Solid, I'd have to look into what I'm sure the emulating scene is like for Metal Gear, because, well...
like I said, you can get Metal Gear and Metal Gear 2 in the Legacy Collection. Is that for the PS3? I think it's for the PS3. Yeah. You can get because they give you basically I think it's an online voucher that lets you download them.
Okay. Which you can still do, by the way, because Sony did actually change their mind about something. They're not closing down the PS3 store.
No.
They listened to people and were like, okay, we missed the mark. You guys are really want to still have access to this storefront. Okay. If you know, which is just good business when you realize the audience gives a shit about something and you're like, Oh, you guys actually care? Okay, well, that's fine.
All right. Just, keep your money where your mouth is.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I'm like. It's all like, all right, don't yell for something to fucking stay and don't actually fucking use it. Because I'm pretty sure that was probably the initial reason for that. They're probably looking at this digital storefront and it's like, sales are down. Maybe we don't need this. And I was like, out with the old, in with the new. But people know we like the old. It's good.
Yeah, and I do still think with, like, them still being a little open-ended, it's fair enough. Oh, though I also heard, apparently in Poland there was a leak for a PlayStation Plus video service.
Yes.
It was teased, a limited test service.
Yes.
Nobody knows what it would entail because it was taken down almost as soon as it was put up. But that's a very interesting concept if they're gonna like bundle in. I would certainly experiment with video renting or streaming or whatever through PS Plus if they added that on. I don't think I'd pay extra for it because I don't really use the PlayStation Store for that feature. But it certainly is a thing. You can get video on a PlayStation.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah, that's we're Metal Gear Solid's on our list. I've said that especially after Lucky and I had somewhat different experiences with KH3 that all of Kingdom Hearts is on our list. Because I played the story so far in almost its entirety. The only game I was like, fuck this, I don't have enough time for this was Rechain of Memories because, oh man, guys. I thought it was cool when I was a kid and I never played Chain of Memories and I had a lot more free time, but oof, as an adult, that port is not the best. I'll look at Lucky with the sick blocks.
Yeah, I'm practicing right now.
Super relaxed. Look at these scrub lords.
Ow.
You did not get a good block there.
No, I did not.
Once again, though, perfect timing. I knew exactly when you got hit because you got hit and then you said, ow. Thumbs up.
Yeah, I got a thick dictionary.
Yes, though aren't they under antitrust investigation right now? Somebody in the live chat said that doesn't Sony own Funimation and Crunchyroll. I do believe they have concluded that deal, but they are under congressional investigation to see if they have too much of a monopoly, which I gotta say, honestly, they shouldn't because there are a decent number of competitors. Netflix is still blocking out anime exclusively. Amazon has titles.
Hulu has titles.
Yeah, Hulu has a lot of stuff as well, yeah. It would seem a little unfair to assert that just because they bought a streaming service and a dubbing service and combined them into one, they are suddenly, a monopoly or something. High Dive exists, yes. I don't know who owns them. But, yeah. By the way, guys, sorry if I seem like I'm doing a lot of extra pausing or whatnot. I'm a little groggy today. I didn't sleep so good, so I'm kind of a little out of it. I'm sure y'all could carry on. You see, I'm yawning. Just by watching Lucky beautifully play Nier for you, though. Uncharted's another big one for us.
Yeah. I think yeah. Yeah, because
I was going to say, I've never played all the Uncharted's. I really wanted to, but you were like, but we should do that on air, and I want to be there.
Yeah, I do.
And I was like, yeah, okay, that's fine. And I do believe what is it? So... Was it one of the sets is on either for a Legacy Collection is on PS Plus, and then the other PS5 Essentials or whatever, right?
Yeah, no, you should have the Nathan Drake collection from your PlayStation Plus, and yeah, Uncharted 4: A Thief's End should be in the Essentials.
Yeah, because I did because Uncharted the Nathan Drake collection was a free month that I absolutely put in my library, so. All right, have a lovely day yourself, or a Losely day yourself, Loth. He did a mistype in chat.
Yeah, he did. Losely.
I think that's everything that's high on our list. Though obviously with us testing the system, as soon as Lucky is done, quote unquote, with Nier Replicant, we can also try Resident Evil 7.
Yes.
Because we have done several streams this week. All of which I think were pretty successful. In reverse chronological order, you streamed Final Fantasy 14 this Thursday. Because you asked people about what you should stream, if you want to talk about that a little.
Yeah, so originally when I didn't pre-order, I wasn't sure if I wasn't gonna get Nier Replicant right out the gate. I really wasn't sure. Um, but like I said, like I watched some Yoko Taro interviews and I was like, oh no, I love this man. I was like, let me throw money at him, and I bought a bunch of games. Like my copy of Nier 3, it's actually a fucking it's a Square Enix copy. I got it from their storefront, so it's still wrapped in plastic and everything. So
Neat.
so I was like, no, I will support this man and put my money where my mouth is. So I did that. But when I ordered it, it said it wasn't going to arrive until like the 27th. I was all like, oh well, that misses both my streaming. Well, it came out the 23rd, which was Friday, so I couldn't have streamed it anyway. But the thing was, if I did want to stream it, I didn't want to necessarily start up another game before that because I might do multiple playthroughs of it. And unfortunately, I'm not that great about switching back and forth. Once I start playing one game, I usually want to keep going with that game until completion, or at least I get so unreasonably upset at it that I just rage quit and move on with my life. Sekiro. So I was like, all right, I don't want to do Resident Evil 7, and I don't want to necessarily drag Omega into it. But I don't necessarily want to do... Oh, she gone. Do, like any maybe other game. So I basically went to YouTube and was like, hey guys, I can't play Resident Evil 7 because I might get Nier Replicant, but I'm not going to be able to stream Nier Replicant for a while, so what do I stream? And there's a few people who actually came out with responses, and I was super appreciative. I made sure to respond to everybody. Someone suggested Warframe. Oh, that was the Flying Chicken. Someone suggested Warframe, and I was all like, I could, but I don't really want to. Because it'll take me forever to install.
Oh, when the audience is going to come in, right?
Yeah.
You never know when the audience is coming in, but it's still very funny to hear them phrase it that way, because I'm pretty sure at several points you've talked about how many bajillion hours you've put into Warframe.
Yeah. Like, I don't think a lot of our community is necessarily into Warframe, so like, nah. Like, here's the thing, if I stream, I want people to be there and I want them to watch it, you know?
Yep. And it sure seemed like that worked with Final Fantasy XIV.
Yeah.
I was busy with some other stuff that day, but I did occasionally look at the chat, and you did seem like you had quite a few people in there typing vociferously.
Another suggestion was people asked if maybe I should do some visual novels, maybe some Otome games, and I was like, I could. Like, I'm not against visual novel games. It's just usually I like playing visual novels. I haven't played one in a long ass time, I will admit. Can I jump on that? I cannot. But it's usually for the fact of visual novels are a lot of sitting down and reading, making choices and doing more reading. I'm not necessarily how sure people will be entertained by that, especially by myself. Like, and I don't know.
Yeah, I've always been kind of, because at least as a personal preference thing, I don't like how a lot of YouTube people handle streaming visual novels. Like, for instance, I can't watch Game Grumps do any visual novel type content because I fucking hate them for doing all the dumb voices all the time and never shutting the fuck up about it. I'm like, guys, I can read. Don't try and make it funny. You're killing me here. So I just don't. I'm like, well, other people like it, so this video is just not for me then, I guess.
Yeah.
The responsible way to do that, instead of me being like, Aaron, please die for making a funny voice. It's like, no, just like, okay, well, this video's for somebody else then. But yeah, I don't know how we would handle that with our audience. I'm sure we'll find out someday, because we are vaguely marketed based around Type Moon stuff, which all got it started and whatnot. So I'm sure someday we'll have to cross that boat.
That boat. But so yeah, another then someone else suggested that I do more Sakuna of Rise and Ruin. I was all like, yeah, I could. That ain't a bad idea. And then they said, and as a fallback, you'd always just do Final Fantasy 14. And I was just like, but will people actually watch me play 14? And I was like, usually, because when I was doing like this, we were doing the recordings and not the streams. Like oh, these are a little expensive. I see. Wow,
that's pretty typical. I feel like I remember a very similar storefront in Automata. hey, you can buy one sword, it's pretty cheap. You can also buy this other thing, it's like super fucking expensive. Okay, all right. I see.
A narrow sword once owned by a woman with such impossible beauty that men begged her to take their lives. I see. A sword that bears a beastly motif, and its short, thin blade seems eager to vanish from sight. Wild.
Shout out to whoever writes the flavor text.
Chickens! And there was another suggestion. Oh yeah, someone suggested this Yu-Gi-Oh! Pokemon ROM hack.
Yes, because I guess people can't tell us apart or don't realize we have different hobbies.
But like I said,
I have heard of that ROM hack as well. I may or may not figure it out sometime for myself, but that would absolutely be an Omega stream, not a Lucky one.
Yeah.
As Lucky, you don't actively play Pokemon either anymore.
No, I gave that up several years ago. I just can't keep up. Like, I don't want to say it's necessarily because, I'm getting old. It's just my interests have changed, and yeah.
Are you at all interested in the new Pokemon Snap coming out?
A little bit, yeah. I mean, photography. Fuck yeah. Actually, where am I?
Yeah, let me double check when that comes. My only video game purchase, I think I'm pretty sure on in the next month, is the Mass Effect collection. That will probably not be streamed, by the way, because that's many hours.
I don't know. I think I'll pick it up at some point, but not.
I'm not really doing anything else right now, though. Unlike Lucky, who's swimming in Yoko Taro.
I am literally swimming in Yoko Taro right
I'm
now.
not really doing anything else right now, and I could.
Oh wait, no, fucking Resident Evil 8 Village, comes out next month.
That's true. That does mean we got to work on 7.
Like I said, and I'm I don't know, necessarily. I can well, this is hang on, give me a second. I'm going to organize my thoughts here.
Yep.
So I wouldn't be opposed to bringing you onto my stream on my stream day, so we can do that 7. Same with What's Up and make that 7. Because then that means we could be playing 7 at least twice a week. And like I said, I know you want to stream things, but if you want to give up your stream days just for more fucking 7, we can do a lot.
I don't know. I don't know if we have to go that far because
I don't know.
Because my Subnautica seems to be going well. I'm having a lot of fun with that. But yeah, no, we could definitely do it on Thursday and What's Up as well. Yeah. It would probably be better to set up the system and share the load on a Thursday and get those hours in, because obviously in What's Up we also talk about whatever stuff as well. It's not always primarily a Let's Play, and even sometimes when it is, those videos haven't done as popular. As much fun as we had playing the Scott Pilgrim video game, that is one of our lower viewed videos. I don't know if it was just because the game is old but new again, or because we were focused a lot on playing the game. It was interesting. I don't know. Yeah, we could definitely kill some time.
I think this is what's good about having just one of us play a game and whatnot, is one of us can lead the conversation while the other one just usually reacts, and we're not both hyper focused on playing the game, so we can be good at it.
Yeah, well, obviously I'm still running the stream just for the sake of doing it, and also so that I can occasionally look at it and have your perfect time reactions. I'm mostly focused around looking at my computer, occasionally looking stuff up or whatever to do the show bits, because the show. But yeah, so Thursday you did stream Final Fantasy XIV.
Yep, 7 hours of it.
Yep. Very respectable return to streaming.
Yes, I think I mentioned it but I decided to finish up the Shadowbringers storyline, and oh man, it was good. It was fucking good. They did one of my favorite, I guess, anime. What's the word I want to call it? Things, gimmicks. They fucking played the opening theme at the end, at the climax. I'm just I'm literally let's fucking go. It was great. They channeled some Tenkatapa Gurren Lagann energy at the end there too. No spoilers, but fucking Emmett Silk is the best. I love that man. Ugh.
Yeah, I obviously, as said, haven't played 14. May or may not get around to trying it someday when I feel like it. That is the thing I've heard a lot. Is a lot of people are very jazzed about the storyline stuff in Shadowbringers. A lot of people have talked about it being very interesting and very big.
Oh no, she fell. So I was looking at the loading screen. But another interesting little fact about the 14 stream is other people were like, "Hey, you're playing 14. Can I play with you?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure." I'm not not like that, not like that. I was like, "Yeah, sure." And a couple people from the audience came in, and I was like, "Look at these stream snipers." One person actually was like kind of was kind of a little bit of a butt, but I was like, "Yeah, whatever, it's fine." I really didn't care that much. I was like, "Dude, man, I'm in the quest, man. You can't be here. You can't be here." So yeah, like if people are for it, I will definitely stream more 14. Definitely once Endwalker comes out.
You heard him, guys. If you like 14, make your feelings known.
Yeah, once Endwalker comes out, I'll definitely stream more. Hopefully next month when they do the digital fan fest for 14, we'll actually get more deets and maybe the full fucking trailer. God, I love that. I love the teaser. I love the teaser so much. And many more things make sense now. I have a concern. Is this a box? Can I break the box? I broke the box. It has a thing.
Is it a cardboard box?
No, it is a wooden box. Alright, let me see here. Can I... Yes, I can jump up this. Ah, it takes me back to the front. Interesting. I appreciate they let me climb up this.
Had to step across the room to get my bottle of water real quick.
Mm-hmm. It's a bridge.
It's a bridge to a very big castle. Oh, we're gonna do the classic bridge shot.
I'm sprinting so hard. I'm done. It's like, whew! Wait, did the music just stop?
Yep. The music did a hard stop.
Wow.
Great action with the birds in the background into the foreground.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting stuff. Okay, but so, Lucky streamed. Do you have any further stream things to say about stream things? Man, I'm real derp today, guys. Sorry.
He's real derp today, he says. Not necessarily. Like I said, I had fun streaming 14. We'll do it again. Like I said, we're gonna get Resident Evil 7 underway here eventually.
Soon, TM.
Soon, TM. Now that we know that this works to a respectable level,
yep,
we can do it.
For purposes of stream, especially because with stream recording, like obviously if we also do it on WhatsApp, that's different. But with stream recording, I don't have to do fucking anything other than watch you play, basically, and yell it about it on Discord for the sake of the audience at home. Oh, you found a medicinal herb in that box.
Yeah. I love when people just leave drugs for me in boxes.
That's another thing that I feel like game developers don't always comment on a lot is the mysterious plethora of items you get. It reminds me of certain areas in Automata as well. I wonder if that meant Automata was a deliberate reference.
Oh, what's this?
That said, just in general, Yoko Taro and his art team have a great cinematic sense.
Oh yeah.
Like, look at the light play in this, right? You raise the chiaroscuro, the light and the dark transposition. The look of the tree spiraling up through the building, which is also destroyed at points. Beautiful. Great work. Chef's kiss. That's the second time this week, by the way, I've said chiaroscuro, because I actually streamed twice this week. Because I'm a lunatic. So the first time was on Monday, because Monday is my stream day now, because D&D is Tuesday. We did, in fact, have a D&D. I fought the grounds, and I stabbed a ghost. It's okay, I'm a paladin. I can stab ghosts.
This box is sus.
This box is very sus. It's in a fucking halo of light. I don't know. What are you going to do, Lucky?
Oh, okay. It's a key. Okay.
So it was a plot important box. It was the game developer saying, you
should break this box.
Yeah, you should break this box. But yeah, so Monday I streamed my first play of Subnautica. We went for only 3-ish hours. It was just because I found a good stopping point. I had a lot of fun. I did have I feel a decent amount of audience engagement. People seemed to enjoy it. We splashed around in the water. We did some plot stuff. I tried to stab some gas mask manatee things because they were constantly up in my business.
They mocked you.
Yes, they mocked me, they chuckle at me, and they're always in a pack hanging around my life pod. And I was just like, I'm tired of you. Get out of here. Get off my lawn. We were bit by some things and exploded a couple times, and I definitely fell off some cliffs. You may wonder, how do you fall off cliffs in Subnautica? Well, you should watch the stream archive to find out. But I got a decent amount of work with the quote-unquote plot done. You know, I answered some radio calls, I discovered some shit, etc. Did some basic resource gathering. I did pretty well for myself. You know, I've got the mobile vehicle bay built already, even though I don't have all the blueprints to build a Seamoth with it. I got a Sea Glide. I got some various tools and stuff. And I was able to finish the stream off by constructing the habitat builder. So next Monday, on my upcoming stream, I'm going to go ahead and actually start building a little habitat for myself and some lovely real estate I found. There may be some noisy neighbors, but it'll be okay. So that'll be where we start next time, and that should be super interesting. And it's Subnautica is a very chilled, relaxed game to stream for the most part. Like, obviously, there can be moments of horrifying terror. There was a great clutch moment where I nearly drowned.
Oh god.
That you guys should see. You know, if we ever were to get like compilations of our streams, I would love to do to get that one done, because that's pretty good. Because to describe it a little bit, like, it doesn't have the full impact unless you see it. But basically, I dove super deep to the point where it's like, your oxygen efficiency is impacted, and I kind of like take too long down there, wondering like, can I be down here? Oh no, I can't. I'm running out of air, and so I swim to the top. I just barely make it, and then I spin around and like, oh hey, there's the island. Like, it's just so perfectly cinematically timed. But yeah, we'll be getting back to that on Monday. That'll be fun, because people do seem to just, you know, chill out, hang out, and talk about stuff in the chat while, you know, you do underwater stuff. Very good, very relaxed. And, you know, we'll see if we can cram some jump scares in there sometime. Because there'll be plenty of opportunities. But so on Wednesday, to let everybody know a little bit about some behind-the-scenes process, Wednesday is usually the day. It's our dedicated day that I shoot the Yu-Gi-Oh! Progression Tournament series I do with people, which you should check out. It's good. Other than that, I've talked about this, the first game of the last episode I just put out is a little scuffed. I've been fighting my recording setup once again. I think for once I've finally got everything locked up that, like I streamed right after and there were no complaints, but also my video capture worked prior, so I think I've got this problem solved for now, though OBS is still being weirdly temperamental with me. I don't know if it's because I've added the second monitor, but like sometimes it's when I've got both the capture screen displayed on and the actual thing I'm capturing, it's like, hold on, you got an excess of encoding, we're too overloaded. It goes away if I like minimize one of the windows, so I don't know if it's just being cheeky with me. But for the most part, I've only heard complaints about that first match, which, yes, did not export and record properly. Sorry about that. My bad. It's a little hard to tell just skimming in the middle of it, because obviously it's the first match in a series, so it's like, okay, I don't want to spend... I already, like, delayed for, like, 5 to 10 minutes figuring out how to reconfigure my setup to make the next ones good. I also don't want to, like, waste another 5 or 10 minutes, like, reviewing the footage to make sure it's okay. So it was scuffed. I'm sorry. It's okay. In case you couldn't tell from it, it was my match. I lost. We'll see how it works now in the future, but you should definitely check it out. But that week, this prior week, we actually had a player decide to skip a format. It was Marth. He decided to take a week off. Felt kind of stressed by the whole thing. Needed some time to relax. So we did the tournament series one man down, and I was like, oh, this finished up very quick, which it did, by the way. It's our shortest video yet. It's only over an hour. I was like, because we talked about this, me and the Yu-Gi-Oh! Crew, I was like, hey, would you guys be okay to do a stream where we just shoot the shit about Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards for a while? And I will say, for people who don't know, this is clearly inspired by a series of streams done by another Yu-Gi tuber, Rada. He did something called Pathetic Aesthetic, where he and his co-host Jimbles looked at a particular series of Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards in a long sequence. Some of which are very, very long, by the way. Because sometimes there are a lot of cards in these popular series, and like, just talk about their feelings and critiques of the art and stuff. So this was definitely inspired by that. Shout out to Dallas for giving me the name of this, Fail Portrayal. It kind of rhymes. But so I was just like, hey, you guys want to just jump on stream for a little bit and guerrilla stream and shitpost about e-heroes, basically? So we did for 3.5 hours.
3.5
By the way,
weeks.
that was not like a time constraint thing. We easily have enough content for another stream that I don't know when that will happen. But after doing it for 3.5 hours in the middle of the night, there was definitely some like, we're running out of steam. Like at one point, Loth said, because he was there, was like, I zoned out for like the last 30 minutes, guys. What's happening? Are we done? And I was like, yes, Loth, we're done. We're going away. But it was a fun time. We looked at a lot of stuff. It was just mostly just, you know, the people who were on progression. I think David had already gone to bed at that point, but it was most of us around yelling at each other and yelling about card art and yelling about cards being good and stuff. And just having a fun time. And like I said, it was fun for most of us. I'd like to do it again. It was a very successful stream. Quite a lot of people showed up, and it's got a pretty good view count. So I'm sure I will do it again. I just need to find the time. We can do a lot of these things.
Okay, maybe I can't go up there.
That's an interesting... Sorry, somebody in chat just said they're talking about how there's a lot of like nods and influences from Twilight Princess in this game. That seems neat.
That seems neat, but also I'm not going to necessarily buy that either.
I mean, it would have been a similar time scale. Keep in mind, he said Omega Ultra in our live chat is saying this after having played this game for 16 hours. Yeah. So if he's collected a lot more time and feels the vibes, then
yeah, again, remember what Yoko Taro was saying. I didn't build this, not made this with like anything impossible. What you get out of it is what you get out of it. But what you get out of it might not be what actually is in it.
True. And there's something to be said for like being in similar development spaces.
Yeah. Like the development team, did the development team come out and was like, yes, we saw Twilight Princess and we're like, yeah, we got to use that.
Well, you never know. Some of these touches can be subtle, but
yeah.
Let's see. Twilight Princess was 6. Didn't spell. Nier was 2010, so
yeah. I don't know. I do have a bit of it. It's also one of my little pet peeves. I am bothered when people just say, "Oh yes, this is clearly a reference to this," and I'm just like, "But why do you say that?" It's like because it's this generic-looking thing that everyone else has done. I'm just like,
it's true. People are very eager to see references and stuff in things.
Yeah.
It's a similar principle to like, whatchamacallit. I don't even know. I'm too mentally scuffed now to think of it, like the context. But like, it's a similar thing to why people are always looking for other things in video games, just like references or another thing. You have to feel like you're being rewarded for your investment, where you're like, oh, I'm a huge fan of the blah 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 series. Ah, yes, this is clearly a reference to that. I feel so invested from my knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I've definitely been yelling at people about this in Let's Talk FGO for a while, where I'm like, guys, why do you think it's a personal attack when I talk shit about the Scotty conspiracy? Like, everybody feels the need to defend their choices about Scotty, and I'm like, I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit about why you chose to put Scotty on your support list or whatever. Like, guys, spoilers. No matter what justification you think you make, it will not sway my opinion. Unless you are going to, like, magically teleport a high-level Scotty into my account, which you can't do, which will change my opinion because it will give me a new tool to use. My stance on the matter won't change because it's very pragmatic and specific to me. But a lot of people feel like they need to be like, but Omega, the Scotty, the blah blah blah. It's perfect though. The people, and I'm like, okay, do it for them, but like I'm not like trying to fight you about your Scotty on your support setup. Why are you trying to fight me back? I just can't use that on support, so I'm just going to kick people off because I got tired of seeing it. Which, as we said, is partially FGO's fault for its, like, tacking stuff up to the top automatically with newest servants. So it does mean that until another 5-star caster who's really important comes out, that Scotty is just magically put at the top. But yeah, I think it cuts both ways.
Yeah.
I say this is a guy who has so far enjoyed all of the JoJo's he has seen. I think you've even said this before as well, Lucky. JoJo fans are just animals about JoJo references. Like, is this a JoJo reference is now a full-blown meme because JoJo fans are just out there. And, like, let's be real. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, it's been going a long time. The Manaraki, he's been alive, he's been doing it a while. Not as long as Gona Guy's been doing things, though. Did you see that bit in a anime?
Oh, yeah, he's working on something new. He's just like...
He's working on a new project, even though he's in his 70s. Damn, dude.
He's like,
oh,
ain't gonna stop.
Nope. Can't stop, won't stop. It's like Hayao Miyazaki. Every time he retires, he unretires to make another movie. He's like, I thought I was done, but no, actually. But, yeah, so, like, obviously, yes, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure has been around a long time, and it is quite influential, but also, not everything is actually meant as a JoJo's reference. And also, speaking to your earlier point, right, about, like, conscious references, a lot of references aren't conscious. I've made all kinds of references to stuff in my own writing that I probably didn't realize at the time was a reference to something, right? And I've made very deliberate things that are not references. But you don't always tell what impacts you as a creator until it's out on the page, and then somebody's like, "Hey, this thing like this thing," and you're like, "Oh shit, yeah, I guess it is, because I do really like that thing. I'm sure that it did subconsciously have an impact on me."
Yeah, no, it's like me and the fucking the Atano Circus, the Macross Missile Barrage. I've never seen fucking Macross. I haven't, but I know the fucking Atano Circus, and I fucking love it. So. Yes, if you say, like, if I was to pick a thing and I put the fucking, the Atano Circus in there, it's like, yes, I am using it because I like it. I'm not necessarily referencing Macross, though.
Yeah. But so that kind of, there is a certain obnoxiousness to references as well.
Yeah.
What was the other thing? I was thinking of another franchise besides JoJo who's really bad at this. It'll come to me later, I'm sure. But, like, that it's definitely a thing that some people are known for, of like, oh my god, is that a reference? Yes, no, maybe so. Why? I don't know. Maybe it's probably a combination of the the reward on investment combined with the fact that, like, people always want to know, like, just the way modern internet culture is and memes and stuff, where people are like, I want to catch the reference, though. Right? Like, people want to feel like they're in on the joke.
Yeah, people want to feel that their weeb knowledge is useful.
Mm-hmm. By the way, speaking of subtle game design touches, I love how there's these scrape marks on the floor to let you know not only can you push this box if you've never pushed this box before, but, like, it perfectly encapsulates where you need to push it.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it ends exactly where you need to, like, set it up to do the thing with the ladder.
Whoops.
Maybe. Hold on.
I'm sorry. I'm bad at games, okay?
I mean, we're having a deep conversation about JoJo references, and you're trying to solve puzzles. That's, you know, that's another classic Game Grumps thing. Once again, not to be like, oh, everything we do is a reference to Game Grumps, but no, Game Grumps has been on the air a long time. I've watched a lot of fucking Game Grumps. I was there when, you know, Dan was new at this. I don't think I ever watched any of the JonTron era, but I started watching Game Grumps when Danny was in there. So, like, nah, it's. Oh, okay, that's a save point. I didn't realize. I was like, what's the mail? What's the spectral post box? Oh, it's the save point. Interesting.
Remember, this is back in the day when everything just didn't autosave everywhere constantly.
No, that is correct. Manual saves. But they've definitely done a lot of work in the field of two-man Let's Plays, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I do notice stuff like, yes, you do in fact. Sorry, somebody's got a very tiny GIF, which is just like a lot of references to an iconic shot in Akira, which I'm like, yeah, that stuff, that's obviously a visual homage, right?
Yes.
Like somebody saw the shot in the classic Akira and was like, I want to do that shot again as a little Easter egg. This is very glowy. This thing you got going on.
I'm gonna have to fight those things.
Yes, you are. Also, I'm like, wait a minute. Where's which part is the chest and which part is the head?
They're fucking Galman from fucking Tengen Toppa Gurren Lagann.
They are very much in that design. That's the kind of thing where, which I'm sure also, though, that's probably like a reference to something else or whatever, but that's definitely seems like if you were going to start being like references, I would be like, that's a very strong, similar visual theme there. I do wonder if perhaps somebody watched Gurren Lagann and was like,
I can't.
But yeah, no, like I said, Game Grumps has done a lot of pioneering work in the two dudes doing Let's Plays, and they've definitely got, like, I mean, I don't want to say that Aaron would be good at video games if he was off camera. Aaron Hansen is a man with his own opinions and feelings on video games and his own tastes, which is, kind of a big deal about selecting games to play. Like, I do actually genuinely think that not all people should play all games, not in like a weird elitist thing, but like, no, dude, some people just don't like games, and you shouldn't force yourself to play a game just because it's popular.
I like what they're doing here. Okay, so I'm gonna point this out. So This is my third wave of these. Okay, these things, they're kind of scrub lords.
Yeah.
I can kill them in basically a couple hits.
Mm-hmm.
Now, give me a second here to actually. What the game does is it takes me off, it puts me on the book, and it auto puts my fucking marker on the book, and then respawns the enemies.
Yeah, that's a really good way so that you can't like beat them up while they're spawning.
Yeah, so it's all like they're saying, hey. They say, hey,
hey, you should be doing this part, not the other part.
Oh, I did break it. Okay,
now
cool.
you're just being very mad at this book.
Mm-hmm.
Very existential. Look at his dumb book face.
I'm gonna have to fight these things.
Probably, because they're probably going to let go of the book thing.
Mm-hmm.
But will you get access to the book back first?
We will see. Bonk. I like how they did it.
Yep. Look at his fucking face, damn. Oh, this is absolutely that big Yoko Taro energy. Just like, these guys are like needlessly horrifying. Why are they so freaky? I don't know. By the way, in case you're new to the stream and haven't noticed, Lucky is playing with Japanese audio.
Yeah, unfortunately, these are dub titles, so don't expect a one-to-one from the Japanese.
Yeah. But no, like, I do actually think that, like, Aaron has some interesting opinions on the way games should be made, and sometimes they're bad and wrong. Mm-hmm. I know that's ironic to say about opinions, but I'm just like, he talks shit about certain Zelda games that I know I love, so I'm just like, I just have to accept that Aaron just doesn't like these kinds of games, even though he thinks he does. It's like really weird, like, he doesn't like a lot of Sonic games, but he says he actually does like Sonic as a concept, which I don't disbelieve. It's just kind of weird. It's like, some of it is obviously playing up for the cameras, which a lot of people do a lot. We even ourselves have been exaggerated for camera, but I'm like, other times I'm like, okay, you like this series, but do you actually like this series? That's another thing we could probably talk about, like talking about how like some people get really interested in references. Sometimes people get really invested in like character designs or like series tropes or whatever, but they don't actually like the fucking media that is the series. This is probably why at times like fan fictions and AUs and stuff are so popular with certain people, because they just don't care for the actual product or whatever. But like, definitely a thing to cycle this back to my original point of why I brought up Game Grumps. Again, sorry if I'm a little slow on the uptick these days, guys, and a little rambly. Like I said, I'm sweepy. Look, he's not sweepy. He's stabby.
I'm stabby. Again,
but
another great moment. They actually make you accept ask the book. You have to make the choice.
Yeah.
Like, again, I love these little things.
Mm-hmm. And, like, obviously, I can see why some people might be a little annoyed, because it seems like it really isn't a choice. Like, the game will go on forever until you die if you don't do it. Mm-hmm. But it's still thematically appropriate for you to be like, okay, bucko. But yeah, what I was going to say was that the Game Grumps have talked about this, and I expect this is true for a lot of people in general, is when you're trying to basically do improv to camera, you're trying to do the funnies. Which, to be fair, even if we were to do, like, buddy streams, I don't think we would necessarily go full ham on improv. It would probably be much more reaction-based. Though, knowing us, we would probably get into tangents about a lot of things. Mm. But there's definitely something to be said for, like, it can be very distracting to try and, like, work the parts of your brain that work about talking to another person or talking to the audience and playing the game at the same time.
Oh, yeah.
So you can get very dumb about stuff. So it's, like, at times I would be, there are games that I'm sure that we probably don't look like we're good at if we're playing on stream, and there are games that we aren't good at.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I find it funny where, like, earlier, I think I started this conversation because you, like, missed the ladder jump and were like, I'm bad at video games, y'all. Honestly, like, we've talked about this. You are not bad at video games generally. You actually have a very good natural sense when it comes to like, game design and game mechanics.
Oh, yeah. I play a lot of a lot of them.
Yes, you've played a lot of games. You're very good at grasping what different games are getting at. Like, I've played a decent number of games. I'm fairly certain Lucky has played more games than me. I do actually like to buckle down and play certain games very intensely, as opposed to jumping from title to title. I guess these guys do have blood. They're leaving it all over the floor. That's a little weird. That's a question I wonder if Mr. Yoko Taro will answer later.
Mm-hmm.
And anyway, you've discovered your basic bitch shoot power.
Yep. It does consume resources, so I must be careful about that.
But, like, you have at times been much better at, like, grasping what a new game is getting at than me for some stuff. But our tastes are different. Like, you said you don't actually enjoy a lot of first-person shooters and a lot of, like, twitchy games and stuff. And so long as I have a controller, I'm just sorry, guys. I grew up with controllers. I'm not good at mouse and keyboard controls for the most part. At least not with modern games. But I don't want to say I'm good at shooters. I have been known to be good at some shooters. But it is definitely a gameplay design that I am much more comfortable with and don't mind getting into the nitty-gritty and can actually do okay at. You know?
Yeah. Oh, here we go.
Yeah, there it is. Now you're going to fight him.
It's the blue Oni.
New barrier.
It's the red Oni.
See, this isn't a reference. This is just a cultural thing.
Yeah. Look at them run!
Okay, all right, hold on. That's a little. This is getting a little derpy. Is this supposed to be this way? I'm sure it is. That said, this is like strong. This is. I don't want to say this is a reference. What I'm going to say is this is definitely the same mood as like a Dark Souls right now.
Yeah.
Like these guys are like weird esoteric enemies who are like really ugly, but also kind of silly with how they move. Very iconic.
Ooh.
Oh, he's explaining the
mechanics. I get it. Because of their weird ass fucking movement, sometimes it's hard to tell their fucking tells for their attacks.
Yeah, I think that's what they're gonna. Yeah, tells are very important in action games.
Mm-hmm.
Figuring out patterns, and then he switches, so you gotta fight the other guy.
Yep.
That's pretty neat. You didn't get your perfect block there, but you did manage to catch it. And then he just fucking flies.
Alright. I jump.
He slurped his blood. Even though that's definitely not where he was.
Oh. Wait, I can just go over it?
I mean, hypothetically, you could go over it. I don't know if you can jump that high.
Okay, so I can switch abilities. Okay.
Yeah. The Dark Lance or the Dark Blast.
Neat, neat, neat.
We're learning. And now he shoots fire for some reason, even though he's the blue one.
Oh wait, that was the shoot button. That was not the. Oh. Okay.
Like he's only been playing this game for about an hour and a half, y'all.
Ow.
You gotta take a second to build that muscle memory.
Mm-hmm.
So I think what the idea behind their design is that it's not really supposed to be like a face thing. Like the way their bodies are built up is that like they're arranged so that their shoulders are up there.
Oh, I guess I could see that.
So it means that the face bit looks really freaky deaky. But their bodies actually move somewhat normally if they were wearing a weird mantle thing.
Oh, right in the eye. No!
He did.
Kevin! How
That's
dare
incredibly
you?
dramatic.
I'll fucking
Incredibly
kill
dramatic.
you!
Yeah, he's pissed now.
He pissed.
That was a very dramatic though. Like
Oh, shit.
Oh yeah, he's going real crazy with the fire. But I'm like, I get what they're going for. Like once again, we're trying to make you feel the emotion, but at the same time, it's like, I mean,
oh, shit. Yeah,
you guys have sealed up my sister and you stole my magic book. I mean, like, am I supposed to feel bad for you? This is clearly unlawful incarceration. I don't know what law is like in the year 2041 or whatever, or however long in the future we actually are, since we didn't get a date when we were in the post-apocalyptic past.
Hey, I got all three.
Nice.
Good job, me.
And then we jump and reset.
Oh, no, we did half of them this time.
Huh. Neat. And now he's just an armory boy. Even though he had a lot of blood for some reason.
Okay, I did it.
Well, you don't want to investigate his arm that dropped?
Okay, maybe. It's not there.
Oh, it's not? What? That's definitely a thing I'm noticing that's a little... I'm assuming it's because that's how the technical limitations of the original version.
Yeah. But also, it's like, yeah, where'd the other body go? It's like, this guy's still here.
Yeah, like, it's like they simplified the thing by, like, removing the bodies as well.
Mm.
Unless, of course, they didn't simplify it and he's gonna come the fuck back, like, right now.
No, I don't want...
Oh, she was just taking a nap. She's fine.
Ah, yes. We have done the thing. Now everything will fall down apart.
Ah, those were load-bearing Onis. Loading.
That's always something weird. Yes, we have completed the trial. Now it's gonna just collapse for some reason. Okay, I do not have to do an escape sequence.
Now we're just gonna smash cut.
Look at all that rebar.
Yeah, it's interesting. I noticed how this was like a huge castle earlier, but also, again, with that skyscraper in the background, clearly some bits of this are like built out of classical human architecture. Which, though, by the way, I do want to point out that is an interesting thing that I believe that was on like the Life After Humans documentary that existed once. Our actual constructions will not actually last that long against wear and tear.
No.
Like without upkeep and replacement, I think that even concrete and rebar will actually wear down fairly fast if you think about it on like a macro scale.
Oh, excuse me.
You need very minimal weathering and some very solid stonework to make something that is very long lasting. There's nothing worse than a sad train.
Alright. The Black Scrawl. That's an app name.
3465? Well, why isn't it 3456? Somebody's doing some math on the date it should be. Runes. But okay, so we talked about past streams we did. We talked about future stream plans.
Yep.
Sorry, taking this. I tabbed over and flicked through Twitter.
Strength drop. Gold.
Yeah, I'm thinking. Yeah, I'm. I don't know. I wasn't super excited for Replicant myself. Like I said, I never really beat all of the endings of Automata, but I mean, it looks pretty fun. The core gameplay is pretty good. There's nothing to talk about. Gotcha.
Nah, unfortunately, I got nothing to talk about. Gotcha, my dudes. There's a new Azure Lane event happening. I'm doing it slowly. I guess maybe I care more about the tiny Amagi-chan.
I should probably make sure to log in since the new event actually started and get some stuff out of there. But yeah, I'm pretty relaxed about stuff.
Arknights is going wild. Lucky has to remind himself that he doesn't play Arknights anymore. Genshin Impact's going wild, but Lucky has to remind himself that he doesn't play Genshin Impact anymore.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, that's where we at.
Yeah.
Listen, we're not opposed to gacha games. Just a lot of them don't have the staying power with us. Yeah, I don't know. I don't really. I'm trying to think if there's anything super I want to talk about. It's a yawn again. Nah, I got the most of the stuff. Like if people want to know, oh, hey, well, what are you doing if you're filling your time? Actually, what some people may know this from some oblique tweets I've made. What I'm usually doing in my chill time when I'm not, catching up some videos and stuff, and planning out various things, wrestling with stuff. I have just been. What I do is I slowly farm FGO as I'm also casually playing Final Fantasy Tactics Advance 2 Grimoire of the Rift on my old ass DS because it doesn't need to go anywhere. It's attached to my wall. I gotta be honest. I don't know why I really like Tactics Advance 2. Just the kind of like casual, relaxed way it's set up. Like, arguably, it's even more relaxed than the original Advanced was. Because the original Advanced, honestly, it catches a lot of memes. I'm pretty sure most people on the internet haven't actually fucking played it these days and don't actually remember it. They just know the memes. But I would say A2 is like even more relaxed than the original one because your main character just gets sucked into a book into Ivalice over his summer vacation, and he's like, okay, I want to go home sometime, but also my summer vacation is just Ivalice setting, so I'm fine. I'm cool. I'll punch monsters that are horrifying beyond belief. As you do.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, I just started a new file, like, last month, and I play it for a couple hours before I go to bed to relax, because I don't know, it's very good. I should probably, if I can get, now that we're streaming again, I can get my setup right, I should probably hunt for some kind of capture and or emulating device and maybe show it off to people on stream sometime. I could definitely do that, start a file, do some plot stuff. Fuck around with squares.
Squares!
Oh boy, plot's happening. You've got a scroll montage. Those three eyes aren't creepy at all.
Nope.
But, yeah, it's just a game I like a lot. I like the freedom of the class system. You can switch jobs pretty freely in advance, and pretty fun. I'm kind of, maybe it's just the way I play it. I am a little annoyed of like, obviously I'm me, right? So a lot of the characters I want to recruit to your clan are Gria, the Dragon Girls, and Viera. Also, they have really good classes. That's kind of annoying because for like Gria, you have to progress decently far in the story before you can get access to the other island, continent, land, something. You can only access the other place by airship, so you got to play the game for quite a while before you can actually airship yourself. So that always bothers me. But, you get some people in, you get some recruitment and stuff. It's very fun. I enjoy playing it and playing with squares. Sometimes the mechanics are like, I'm still like, it's still a little frustrating, some of it, but I like some of the ideas. Like you don't, it's like the first Tactics Advance, and I'm trying to remember, was this the same in the OG Tactics? I played that game very scarcely. Did you get abilities based on level or based on your gear in the OG Tactics? I think it was gear-based. Was it gear-based?
I want to say gear-based.
Yeah, so that would make sense. That's Tactics Advance obviously is the same way, because it's a tactics game, but it's on the Advanced. Or the DS. Yeah, the second one.
Yeah, because you get your class, then what you equip on, what you can equip.
Yeah, that gives you your active abilities, and then based on what class skills you've learned, you can switch to new jobs. Was it based on level in the OG Tactics? Anyway, the way Advanced is the way we just described it. But the way that A2 handles this for you is like, there's not like a set thing where like, you've unlocked a new story or whatever, you've gone to a new area, because it's all the same map you go back and forth. You do unlock new areas as you progress in the actual story, but they're not necessarily like level curved or anything like that. It's just the quests occurred based on what previous quests you've done and unlocked to progress the story. So to get new gear, you have a bazaar system where every enemy you kill drops a loot. You get a combination of 2 or 3 loots of a certain caliber together. You can make an item or whatever to get an ability. This means that like some of these are guaranteed by what quests you do or what judge rewards you get. So you can be pretty sure that you'll get certain items. But other times you may be hunting for like stuff for a long time. Like I remembered in this set, I always loved to give my first Bunga the White Monk class because they get access to shit like air render. So they can punch people from far away, a lot of other fun stuff. But their particular weapon type, claws, like, are usually pretty rare to find the materials for. So, like, you can totally get cockblocked on certain jobs. Usually for the main character who you get to name, so he's your self-insert boy, I usually go for, like, a paladin fighter wombo, because you're a Hume, so you have access to Hume jobs. And interestingly enough, they don't give you any unique jobs. Oh hey, Weiss's Japanese voice actor is apparently aggravating. Neat.
Sounds like him.
But this time I actually haven't gotten any good what they're called knight swords for paladin stuff. I think I've got like access to like 3 paladin abilities, so I've just like I guess I'll just go more ham on fighter and maybe what for some reason is translated this way, but it's the samurai class. It's called Paravir in A2, but it's because that was the name of the like weird guard guys in the Sky City in 12. Because obviously A2 is set in the same Evil East that 12 is. Vaughn's a guest character as a sky pirate. That's his unique job. Penel also shows up as a dancer unique job. That was the name that the Sky City like weird guards were called, so I think they stole it from there. But it's the samurai job. You use katanas, you learn like wind slash and like EI attack is one of their attacks. It's an attack that does very little damage normally, but has a chance to instant kill the enemy. Fun stuff like that. And it's really interesting to see kind of while there are classes that I prefer, obviously because some abilities, some skills, whether they're magic spells or just generic stuff, are like really handy. There's always a lot of flexibility in what combos I do, no matter how many times I play the game. By the way, I do want to shout out A2 for having 2 save file slots. I've got my original save file I've had from my first playthrough for like forever that's completed that I don't delete just because it's there forever. And I just restart a new file on the second slot. It's great. What I said all this to say is that I would, dear Square Enix, I would really appreciate a Final Fantasy Tactics Advanced 3 or the bare minimum a remaster of Advanced and Advanced 2, possibly with some new features.
Well, I think they're not going to make it
on the Switch.
necessarily Advanced 3 because...
Well, yeah, Triangle Strategy is coming out. I've talked about this when I played the demo. It's definitely in that same oeuvre. I would say it's much more regular Final Fantasy Tactics than Advanced. But it's definitely in the same style of its strategery. I mean, I don't know. Like, there's definitely some market for Evil East nostalgia, right? Like, there's a lot of expansion stuff for 14 that's related to Evil East stuff.
Oh yeah.
So like, it's not like they forgot about it. It's just that as a guy who also really loves 12, like I really like the advanced aesthetic of being in the Evil East oeuvre, and like your different playable jobs and classes get different stuff. Like in A2, they added the Seek, the pigmen who were in 12. Yeah, I don't know if it's ported over here. I do believe there is a gacha game in this style that even introduces some interesting classes. Like they remembered that Gria exists and they gave them like Sky Samurai or something, which is pretty fun. Like, Square Enix has a fuck ton of gacha games, though. Like, I don't even think half of them are ported over here, but they've got a lot of like mobile-style gacha games with different shit. But I wouldn't mind a like remaster with some new updated graphics and maybe some additional content or jobs or stuff. Because they're not voiced or anything, I feel like it would be pretty simple to like add new content. You just have to write a couple new lines of script, And I think it would be interesting to take that approach. Like I said, I know a lot of people feel kind of weird about Tactics Advance. And I will say, talking about like Yoko Taro and subversive designs, the actual plotline of the original Tactics Advance is kind of weird for this sort of game. For people who don't know, basically what happens is you're a school kid. You're just the player character. I forget his default name. You can name him in classic Final Fantasy vibes, but you go to a school somewhere, so much so that it plays up the fact that you're a school kid, so much so that your tutorial is a snowball fight. Like the game teaches you about movement and actions and facing by having a snowball fight.
Yep.
A2 skips this whole segment, by the way. You're a school kid in A2 as well, but it's way faster. Basically, you make up some bullshit about your summer assignment to like assign the default character. His name is Luso by default. To assign him some like stat spreads. The classic Square Enix answer some questions, get a build, kind of thing. And then you touch a magic book in the library in detention, and you're gone. Like they don't do hardly anything in the quote unquote real world. But in A2, you've got your friends and stuff. You get together and you all get sucked into the magical grimoire world. And the main character is like, okay, this place is cool and all, but also it's like it's full of just it's like unlike A2, which is you are literally put in the real Evilise. In the original Tactics Advance, the Evilise is clearly, oh man, they're shooting a lot of shit at you. Oh, did you break the thing that you were carrying?
Yeah.
Talk about the Yoko Taro-isms.
Like I said,
that feels very much on point.
You have to be careful, and I'm all like, yeah, I'll totally be careful. And I made it all the way here.
And then you got shot. They started shooting too much shit at you.
Yeah.
You're learning a lot of words, though.
Yeah, so I think I have to go back and apologize. I will.
That did sound like that's what I said. Oh, yeah, Axe is commenting on some very specific stuff. Are you, like, given that Axe is so young, there's no way you played the original Tactics Advance anytime recently. Are you just, like, learning stuff, or are you quoting people, Axe? Did you Google this? But yeah, no, the Evilise is fake, so, I mean, that definitely sounds like the original. Yeah, you mentioned the snowball fight. That's definitely the original A. I'm just, like, I'm wondering, like, especially since you talk about how bad your memory is, I'm like, Axe, you're a baby child. You're a small child. How you remember this? Axe isn't actually that small. We've had younger people in the community. It's just, there's a little bit of age disparity. It's funny sometimes. I feel like I occasionally have to clarify so that people don't feel like I'm bullying Axe. Right now, I'm not bullying it. Maybe later. Oh, okay. So you are quoting somebody. Yes. Well, I want to see how because they brought up those examples. I definitely want to see how did their review felt. But let me explain this a little. So you're sucked into a fantasy world, and so what does the main player character do? He's like, guys, we have to defeat this weird queen weird queen person because your friend Newt. Yes, he's called Newt. It's actually spelled that way too. I believe it's actually Mute with an M, but it's like, is he called Mute? Newt? What's going on here? But like he's the one who actually like opens the spooky grimoire. So his mom died, and so he gets a new grimoire mom, and she's the spooky evil queen. So it's like, this is a little fucked up, Mute. It's also, I do think it is a little weird. Maybe it's just the way the main character was written, and they could do another pass on the script. But like, all of your friends get like very specific wish fulfillment, right?
Yeah.
Like the girl you met in school, she has white hair naturally, so she's like, she dyes her hair red to not be seen as weird, but her hair turns naturally red in the fictional universe. Your brother who's in a wheelchair can walk again, which is one of the things many people comment about, like, oh my god, you're trying to make your brother go back to his wheelchair. Like, no. He's being weird. We're all being weird. We're sucked in a weird magical fantasy world with like an evil book lady, and we're all okay with it. Mute gets his mom back, but she's a scary book lady who runs the country.
Ah, shit. My friend is asking where does last Arkham come in. Fuck. I gotta explain that shit.
Oh, God. I just put my head on the microphone for a second and clenched my eyes. I'm just like, oh, boy, that's a whole thing.
Okay, don't worry about last Encore right now.
Don't worry about it. We'll figure it out later.
Encore right now. I need to get this out before they make a horrible mistake they can't take back.
Yeah. In case you can't hear it, by the way, Lucky's phone buzzing in the background.
Yeah.
Because I heard it.
Yeah. They just got finished watching Unlimited Blade Work, so I'm telling them to go have a palate cleanser with today's menu.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, so like some people some people take Tactics Advance's story to the extreme of like, oh, it's actually a villain storyline. You're destroying all your friends' No, it's not. Those people are assholes. They were probably assholes when they were 12 when they played this game. Much like I played this game when I was 12, and they're just it's not really written that way. I do think it's an interesting take because the main character's main point is like, guys, we're literally in an escapist fantasy right now. It's not necessarily healthy. Maybe we should stop engaging with the weird spooky book and go back to our real life and deal with our problems like normal people.
Oh, I can't go back yet. Okay, fine. I'm stuck. I'm stuck with the broken shit. Okay.
Interesting. So, yeah, I feel like, well, obviously Square Enix wasn't ashamed enough of it to not make a sequel that had like the same mechanics. The tone of A2 is like way different than Advanced, which, like I said, was actually kind of like subversive. What I actually expect is much like we talked about people with like references and investment was that, especially as maybe possibly small children, people were like super invested in, no, but getting sucked into another world filled with fantasy and shit is like super cool. Why would I want to go back? I mean, I don't know if I need to check this out. Axe is like forcing me to watch the video later. When I just asked you to tell me like what this guy's opinion was, instead of making me watch a god knows how long video with my time I may not have. But I actually think Tactics Advance was cool. I literally played it as a kid, and I was like, no, I understand what this guy's about. Okay, that's interesting. I may actually watch it then to see what he thinks, because if he liked it, that's actually like, that's not a stance I usually hear from people. Oh, we're mentioning another character.
Mm-hmm.
I also like, by the way, how in the context of you asking that question, it sounds like you're talking to the Shadow Man.
I know. I was just like, wait a minute.
Like, I guess you're talking to one of the people in the weird tin houses or something, but...
I guess, but yeah, it was a little weird for a second. I was like, for an actual second, I was like, was I talking to the Shade?
Am I asking the Shadows about the plot? Excuse me, sir. Have you heard the good word about the sealed verse? Brrr. But I would actually think that because that game was way back on the Game Boy Advance, and I don't know of how good the script was. I should probably look into it sometime, like if the original was more clear. But like that game could probably use a re-release because I don't think they've ever done that. A2 could use another bundle with some HD stuff, and like I said, I wouldn't mind some new jobs in a sequel. But like, it's a really cool game that I'd like, and I can still play because I do still have my launch DS. It has to stay plugged into my wall because the batteries are so old. But like it. I would not mind getting access to that game, like I said, prettier, more streamlined. Get access to Advance well, because it's been years since I played that game. Might be able to... I'd have to figure out... Visual Boy Advance and OBS don't always play along well, so I don't know if I could stream A2, but it would have to be a different service for DS stuff, like I said. If you're interested in me figuring out that setup to see it, because... nobody can get mad at me. I legally own my copy of A2, and I actively play it still on the DS. It's just, it's really hard to rig up captures to handhelds, guys. It's really hard. If I could plug my fucking DS into my computer, I would, but, ugh. But let me know if you'd be interested in that. I could do that for a while, because like I said, really like 12, really like FFTA. I mean, Nintendo can get mad at me anyway for streaming one of their games, but I don't think they will, because they've gotten a lot more relaxed about streaming. I'll just say in the actual stream that through the power of voodoo, I'm streaming my DS. Again, by the way, I don't want to hear anybody take any shots. I literally own the real-life game cartridge, and I own the DS I play it on. I have them over there right now. It's just, like I said, it's not convenient for streaming. Yes, okay. Nintendo does get mad about everything. Well, A2 didn't just have a crossover quest with characters from 12. It, like, full-blown, like I said, Vaughn and Pinello are guest party members. How interesting. That's exactly what I thought. I don't think I would have said it out loud to my friend, the talking book, but that was a thought I had.
That's a squish. She's about to fight me. We don't have to fight.
She's got a boss meter.
Yeah, she has a boss meter.
But she is also going into the corner to, like, hide, so I don't know. Maybe this is one of those, like, Legend of Zelda 2 things where you, like, put away your sword.
Man, they're just blocking.
She did some dodging. Hold on.
I don't want to.
We're just going to explore the space for a little bit.
Yeah. I will run away. Okay, fine.
I mean, she's blocking. You can probably get a couple taps in.
Yeah, it's probably I need to hit her a few times and then...
And then be like, but we're not... Why are we fighting? We're not fighting. But yeah, so Omega would really like a return to the Final Fantasy Tactics Advanced universe. We are great, guys.
Oh.
I mean, and you can't say it's not like Final Fantasy and Square hasn't cashed in on the, like, multiple races, you know, classes combo with, like, 14 and stuff, right? Like, I think an interesting,
right,
you know, their tactics RPGs are pretty good. But I'll play Triangle Strategy for now. Oh, now she's coming at you.
Mm-hmm.
And she's very shitty. There you go. You kicked your ass. Do you feel good about yourself?
Not really, no. Like, she wasn't doing anything besides blocking.
I mean, she counterattacked for a little bit, but yeah.
Yeah, I know, but even like,
Also, to be fair, you are fighting a woman in a negligee.
I know, this is like, I don't necessarily want to fight a woman in a negligee.
But she's going Super Saiyan. She's charging up.
Okay, are we serious mode now? Yeah, now she's ow.
By my pages. I unfortunately missed the first part of his line. I may have to go back and watch the archive to see what that was in Japanese.
That's a good point.
As somebody asked me in patron chat, would I play Diamond or Pearl?
Whoa! The fuck?
This is not okay. Remember how we talked about how Yoko Taro has a very dark, fucked up sense of aesthetics? I actually know. Like, unlike I said earlier, I do actually still like and play Pokemon. I don't. Diamond and Pearl were all right. I did play them. I don't know if I'm super excited about them. I'll probably pick it up sometime, but just to see what they do. But yeah, I don't know. I don't really know if that's entertaining to stream. I think I've said this before, but I don't do any like weird shit. Like I don't do Nuzlocks. If you do Nuzlocks, I don't care, but I don't do them. I mean, I'll be honest. I don't do them because I think it's kind of dumb. You're deliberately handicapping yourself and like making yourself feel bad for no reason because that's not how the game is designed. But whatever. People do remixes on games that are not intended to have some different fun stuff. So I'm like, it's fine. I just don't know if people would be interested in watching me stream Pokemon casually. Maybe Snap, because I am actually interested in that. I played the OG back in the day, and that's probably a lot more shorter and more dynamic Pokemon Snap is.
Mm-hmm.
Again, let us know your thoughts in the comments and stuff, and in chat. Like,
oh, shit.
we're very open-ended. We're very flexible in what we stream. You know, like I said, I only went back to Subnautica because it was on PlayStation's Play at Home, and I was like, oh, I like Subnautica. Like he's played all of it. And streamed for Discord. Was that?
She's a firecracker.
Was there just a beep just now?
There might have been.
It sounded like there was a bleep.
She might have yelled, "I'm gonna rip out all your teeth and shove them up your ass."
Yeah, I saw that part in the screen, and then there was a beep, and I was like, what? But yeah, so again, let us know what you feel. Like we're open ended.
Let me get up. Let me get up. Let me get up.
And Subnautica actually, like, worked out really well. Like, I think it actually works out very well on stream. But, you know, we want to hear your thoughts. There's no point in doing anything if... Well, there's no point in doing things on camera if people aren't there to watch them.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'll probably skip trying to stream the Mass Effect Collection, because that's going to be a lot of hours, and that's something that's definitely more suited towards my free time. That, and also if I start making out with alien ladies, I don't know if YouTube will be okay.
Probably not.
I don't know why, and I don't think we can undo it until we stop streaming, but this video has apparently been flagged for limited monetization. Not that it matters, because that's just ad rev.
I wonder why. Is it because of...
I don't know. Did we say fuck too soon? Possibly.
It might be because of Cane Butt.
Well, we've been limited for like an hour or so at least.
Music?
No, it's not a copyright. It's just it was an ad suitability. I don't know.
Violence.
Maybe it was all the blood in the first part of the video.
That's what I'm saying.
Could be another. There's many reasons why YouTube's algorithm could be like, hold on, is this advertiser friendly? We'll get a manual review in here after we're done streaming, see if we can, you know, pick up some stuff. But we don't care about that. And if you don't want us to care about ads, memberships, super chats, support us on Patreon.
She just kicked
By the
me
way,
out of the way. I love her.
Very fiery. What I was gonna say though was, by the way, I know I haven't done the Patreon read. I was gonna gear up for it, but we got distracted by the Yoko Taro thing, and I was waiting for a good moment. And then by the time I think we stopped having a conversation, it wasn't until like an hour in. So I'm just gonna do it later and put it back in the post for the audio. Now that's very interesting. That was blue. There's a lot of interesting stuff going on here with like color selection and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and the boss is gonna fuck off. You're gonna have to kill it again later.
Of course.
Also, she must be using like double-sided tape or something. Just the way that's cut, I'm like, how is a nip not slipped out? What the? So, like, people sometimes like to get on games about like, oh, they're exploitative, whatever. I'm like, this isn't like exploitative. Yeah, it's supposed to be sexy, but in this context, I'm just confused. Like, how and why in the fuck?
I mean, I think we all had a very genuine reaction of why is she in her underwear?
Yes, which even to emphasize the character says out loud in a very typical, at least in this audio, you know, shocked milquetoast Japanese boy voice.
Mm-hmm.
But like, yeah, no, we were like, what the fuck? Like I said earlier, you know, it was 10 minutes ago when he yelled that out. I literally was like, that's exactly what I was about to say. I was about to bring that up. This is the Yoko Taro in action. Very rude.
Again, this is one of the reasons why I do like having it in Japanese, because hearing her call me Kasama, I'm like, oh yeah, no, she fiery, and she don't like me right now. Because a lot more
she's
weight.
Very rude.
Mm-hmm.
Very abrasive. And I can tell from the text that the Grimoire Weiss is speaking very politely.
Mm-hmm. Kai.
Oh, they put an accent on it. That's good.
Mm-hmm.
That's always important when you're going to do weird things with vowels.
Yeah. Oh, guess we leave.
Right. Fuck off.
It's like, I want to ask about the underwear, but I don't think this is a good time.
No, probably not.
Really intense.
Alright, nobody do anything cool for a second. I'm going to reset the audio recording really quick.
Alright.
We're lagging a little, so I'm going to just cycle it out for the peeps at home. We do occasionally get some. Okay, audio version is back rolling. Yeah, actually, my computer's been a little feisty lately, so I realized I hadn't downloaded CC Cleaner on my, or C Cleaner. Only one C in front of Cleaner. Though I could say CC Leaner. Anyway, I hadn't really downloaded that on my new machine, so it was giving me some problems. So I did a restart and then I installed it and I ran some cleaning.
Fuck you, go.
Because I got some garbug. Look, you can say fuck. Whoa. Look, you can say fuck you, goat, because he got kicked by a goat earlier.
Yeah, I did. Finishing blow tutorial. I should probably actually look at some of these tutorials.
Yeah, if you're not actually, if you're not naturally employing the skills that they talk about, you could look at stuff.
Let's see, where are the tutorials though? That's the question. Notes. Tutorials, here we go. Oh. Double jump, interaction, move box, combo, gotcha. Combo attack, gauges, charging.
Lucky, by the way, you are a little quiet right now. I know, obviously, you're muttering, but you're slightly off kilter, maybe.
Ah, near a fallen foe to deal serious damage. Okay, neat. Deflecting, evading, lock on. Dark blast. I like how they say, by tiny bursts. I'm like, yes, very tiny.
They know what's up.
Mm-hmm. Dark land.
I was very loud just then because I accidentally spoke way too close to my microphone.
Oh, interesting.
Okay, so you get your MP back when you kill enemies.
Yeah, I have been noticing the fact that I am getting covered in blood occasionally. I'm just like, that's very visually nice, but it actually has a purpose. Holy shit. Maps. Saving, quests, jobs, switching, changing, words. Okay.
You are collecting a lot of words.
Yep. See, like right now you can see I'm kind of covered in blood.
Yes, can. Sorry, I tilted my head too fast and bumped my microphone with my face.
Bonk. The stronger Dark Blast. Actually, it says, can I... Okay, yeah, well, if I hold square, it actually does a different attack. Interesting. Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
you do kind of a stronger.
Interesting. Actually, do I sell... Oh, I wonder if these objects are something I can sell.
Well, I don't know what else you'd use a dented metal box for.
Yeah, me neither. So I probably gotta go sell them. That's how I probably make the cash. Righto. Righto. Oh, that's why. I'm like, where am I? I have to cross the bridge.
Well, you should catch up to the live, Mr. Person, but also, I mean, talking shit about my opinions. I mean, yeah, when I was a kid, I was like, that's a little weird. Like, even as a huge escapist myself, somebody's like, oh, I agree with March. Thank you for reminding me of the main character's name from Advanced. It's like, yeah, no, it's spooky magic afoot. This is this may shock some people, but as much as I really do enjoy a lot of like escapist stuff and like Howell's commentary about stuff, at times Omega can be shockingly practical about things. When there's spooky book magic involved, don't take shit at face value, okay? Like, you gotta think about things in your life.
I mean, if it's a spooky book, it's a spooky book. It's a lie. It's a lie.
Like, as Lucky hangs out with his spooky book friend right now. But yeah, like, am I gonna take a weird fantasy world where my friend is suddenly like the prince, and his fake new mom is really weird and stuff, like at face value? No, that's a little fucked up. Shit's weird. Like, I think somebody even brought up before that I'm like, some zombies you kill in the game are like, they have the names of the bullies who fought you in the snowball fight. That's also a little fucked up. Like, and again, this is why I would actually really like them to reapproach this game and maybe redo the translation of the script, because I'm wondering if, like, I don't genuinely know, but sometimes stuff is lost in translation. Stuff are lost in translation. Blah.
Oh, I can try again. Yay!
Oh, I'm sure you can try again. That sounds very Yoko Taro. But, like, I would love to see if it was much more clear that things were not quite right. Because, like, I genuinely do wonder if a lot of people played the first Tactics Advance and maybe did not pick up on some of the things that...
I wasn't supposed to do that shit.
Oh, did you break it immediately when you rolled?
Yeah, I can't, like, roll or do anything, like, strenuous.
How incredibly annoying.
Yeah, welcome to fucking, What's the word I want to use? The fucking the time filler quest. That's what they're called.
Yep.
Hey, I broke it again.
Oh, it's definitely fun.
What am I delivering?
The parcel.
Well, then that's rule wrong about delivering the package. Don't talk about the package. All right, so no rolling. Can I actually fight though at all? I don't remember.
I do think you were attacking before you got hit with a projectile.
All right, but here we go again. Time to Neum. As long as they don't get weird. With
Yeah, go ahead.
As long as they don't get too weird with their fucking. Oh wow, that range is pretty far now. I think about it. As long as they don't get too weird with their fucking attacks, I should be able to do it this time. Yay!
Yeah, what I was gonna say was what we know you can do for sure is you can run, you can jump, I believe, right?
Yes.
And you can shoot. Sorry, I'm just soaking in the dialogue here.
Yeah.
They got a little. This game is really good about. I assume that's why Bookman is in here, so that you can have a lot of ancillary dialogue as you wander around the wilderness.
Yeah, no, it's good. It's good to fill the silence with something.
Mm-hmm. Like there was occasionally bants in Automata, but I do also feel like there were decent segments where like, nah, nobody just really said anything. You just listen to music quietly as you beat up machines in the woods.
Mm-hmm. Those are bats. Are they gonna attack me?
I'm sure they are. They are also, man, their flapping is really weird at a distance. I don't know if that's a stream thing or not, but like the frame rate on their flaps was a little weird.
No, it was the same for me. It was the same for me.
Okay.
I might have a little bit of the Copernicus, but I guess they can't fix everything. Like honestly, I wonder how far they went into like redoing this game.
Well, I heard at least for the PC version, it's not like super full power, like modern, right? Like it's capped to I think 60 FPS, and you don't have like full access to like visual controls and stuff. But it's still like seems fairly modern. Like you can actually go to 60 FPS. It's high def, all that stuff.
Alright, doesn't seem like to be any fucking dudes on here this time, so I should be able to do it this time. Yay.
Yeah, it's a lot easier when there's no enemies.
Yep. Also heard that there has been some concern about the PC port with like bugs and glitches. Kind of how like Nier Replicant was.
Yeah, I don't think. I don't think. Well, actually, that's a good question. Square Enix is still branded on this, so yeah, I'm sure they're responsible. But a lot of them and their sub-development studios have not always been the best about PC ports.
Mm-hmm.
Like, some of their games work very well on the PC. You primarily play 14 on the PC, I believe.
Yep, I could play it. They did just open up their PS5 beta. So, yeah, but no, I like playing my MMO on PC.
Yeah, so, like, it's not like they don't make good PC games. Sorry about all yawning, folks. But it definitely seems like they occasionally do have problems. Like, I do remember that about Automata. It did not have necessarily the best porting.
Which I find interesting, because that's where... Like, I first got Nier Automata on the PC. That's where I did, like, the first two... My first two main playthroughs. And actually, I don't ever remember actually having a bad time with it, but... To be fair...
I think, honestly, that's the thing with PCs, though, because your hardware is so... Hardware and software combos can be so different, is you get a lot of more chaotic responses, shall we say?
Yeah.
Like, I've definitely heard some people say about PC games, like, oh, this is supposed to be really glitchy, and I've been like, I don't really notice anything. Like, sometimes I feel like I get that with console games as well.
Oh, yeah.
But an unstable console game usually is still a little bit unstable for everybody. Like, I didn't always get the exact same bugs that people did, but, when I played, like, Skyrim... and played like Fallout games and stuff, like Bethesda engines, I'm like, nah, these are just inherently glitchy. It doesn't matter how or where you play them; they will be buggy.
Kind, help! I'm being
Lots of
attacked by bats.
They are annoying little.
They are. Batwing.
But you got Batwing, you can make Batwing soup.
Oh, meteor.
The music is going apeshit right now. This choir lady is just really hamming it up for you being in a tunnel, basically. Very good music.
And I'm really good. I'm going to enjoy this. Unfortunately, I haven't been able to fully take in the music because I have my headphones on, and I don't necessarily want to have the TV up loud enough, to overpower things. So I'm gonna take it in. I'm gonna take it in later. I'm excited.
I've definitely been kind of listening it to in the backdrop as well when we're kind of having quiet moments. Yeah, I think the only how long have we been going? Over 2 hours. Okay. I think the only other thing really that I've got to talk about is, just a slight side note. That because I have been kind of just really sucked into playing FFTA2 again, it's no surprise, and this is actually kind of relevant because we talked about like self-aware media. It should come to no surprise that people are familiar with it that my Genesis Isekai setting, Gensekai, the mechanics and a lot of the tropes are heavily influenced by Tactics Advance as well.
Really?
In addition to just general JRPG/anime fantasy and isekai tropes in particular. So I've definitely been kind of like thinking about my lore and stuff again, doing some scribbling. Like I know we've talked about, and this is a genuinely thing I don't know. Like I don't know if I'm gonna want to be ready to jump from another Genesis-based game, basically with Star Wars, to another one right after we finish our Clone Wars campaign. We'll see. But I know, like, at times you've talked about, like, oh, you don't need to necessarily do stats. You can just run the game. And, like, I'm kind of, like, that's kind of true. But also I'm like, but the lore's inside of me. It has to come out sometime. Like, I don't want to just stat skeletons. I also want to run about, but why is skeletons? I may or may not get into some of that. I've done a little bit of writing free time and have not been dying or working on other stuff or sleep. So I may casually poke away. But definitely, like, it's always interesting to see how, like, doing a little bit of the work and playing the stuff, like, I definitely reread a lot of my material for my mecha setting when I played 13 Sentinels, But I also didn't have any necessarily new material to write. But, like, it's always interesting to see the kind of influences go back and forth. Well, it's very true. I love the white donut. That's a very important part of mysteries. Bottle of water. Okay. But yeah, we've been going for a decent amount. Lucky, did you have anything else you want to talk about this week with stuff?
No,
with use?
Really. Did you want to talk anything about tabletop? I don't think there's necessarily anything really to mention.
Now, other than, like I said, Cash, you mentioned the thing already. We're working on a new thing with Star Wars. We're in a new arc again. It's going pretty fun. I think we had a good time actually, like, sitting down and plotting some stuff out. And I'll be interested to see how you guys handle kind of I've already formulated my Op 4 plan, basically what the reverse side of what you guys did with your planning is going to be. So we're going to see how it plays out. But that'll just be this Sunday, I guess. I don't really have anything to talk about D&D. We did play this week, like I said, but other than we got lost in some lost woods and we punched some ghosts, we're, pretty normal. We spent a lot of time looking and yelling at maps, as one often does when lost in the D&D wilderness. That, and we yelled about after game. We yelled about how Dungeons and Dragons doesn't really understand Rangers, and that's weird. Like, I don't really want to bore Lucky with this conversation, but I had a long talk about Rangers with the guys because they're generally considered a very weak class in 5e, and I can see why. It's because OG 5e was written very much with the, like, just, like, they were trying to get away from how structured 4th edition was, right?
Right.
So they're like, okay, fuck it, Game Masters just decide stuff. Well, for the core abilities of being a ranger, a lot of those are like, oh, you get advantage on, like, int and wisdom checks, when you're based skills, when you're in your chosen terrain, or hunting your favorite enemy. Well, because D&D is such a broad, accessible game, and I'll say it, some people run D&D badly. I'm not afraid to fire shots. Listen, there's no such thing as wrong fun. Some people engage with D&D poorly. That's not got anything to do with fun. That's got things to do with relationship between players and game masters. But hypothetically, say you decide you want to play a ranger and you're like, all right, I'm going to be a ranger. My enemies are going to be undead in the desert. I'm like a weird desert fighting ranger. I fight mummies. And the game master's like, cool, I've heard all this. I've told you none about my campaign plans whatsoever. We're in the mountains of the north fighting ice giants. And then as a ranger, just like, well, I'm fucked, I guess. And I mean, the thing you should actually do is that as a player of the Ranger, you should stare your GM in the face or stare at their icon on Discord, because you're not probably staring a lot of GMs in the face right now, currently, with the Backstreet Boys reunions who are ongoing. But you should stare him right in his dumb face and grab your character sheet, and all while looking at him, carefully retype all your stuff so that it makes sense that your favorite terrain is now mountains and tundra, and your favorite enemies are giants. But no, like, it's just... It seemed like the original abilities, while cool and flavorful, were not very mechanically related, which means that you will underperform in combat as opposed to characters who are much more combat teched, obviously. You know, as much as I talk shit about resource sharing for paladins, meaning it's very annoying to be a paladin sometimes, I can't say that I'm ever ineffective in combat unless I'm weighed down by like 5 status effects, right?
Right. I
can cast spells and also I can hit people really hard, so it's very hard for me to be in like a bad situation, especially with my current build. So, but I can see why OG Rangers are kind of a little fuckled. But it's a thing that actually shouldn't be a weakness, but is a weakness because, like I said, some people are just clunky about how they do this sort of thing. And I think the way they did this better was in, I think the next big book they did was they made a lot of optional features that can replace the old features. I had this long rambling conversation with people. I like read all of them, and I'm not going to do that again on air, but read it for yourself. I'm basically like, I think I even said this yesterday because we like to talk about what are game designers afraid of. But I'm like, why are these optional and replace the old ones? Just do both. Trust me, I'm playing a paladin right now. I'm not afraid the ranger's gonna like outcompete me in a damage niche because he gets bonus damage and also can use his fucking brain at stuff, right?
Sorry, the book was like, do you always get asked to do these inane shopping trips?
Yeah, I caught the tail end of that. Like, this is actually good. Like, he's doing the justification for, like, the book is like, yo, bro, why are you doing all these odd jobs? And he's like, I'm fucking unemployed. I have to keep my sister alive. Thanks. Like, he's not as snarky about that because player character Nier is a good boy. But yeah, it's always funny, and you know that that's a conversation Yoko Taro had with somebody, right?
Right.
Whether it was about game dev or just about games in general, he was like, "And we do that." But yeah, so like we had a long ramble about why can't Rangers just have both sets of abilities. That said, I do think that some of the subclasses they're working on, the latest ones, are actually, like... The dev cycle for D&D 5e seems really interesting for me, having gotten in, like... I don't want to say late, because God knows when they'll roll out with a 6th edition, but, like, definitely after some work has been done, it's very interesting to see these kind of, like, later edition stuff being much more, like, polished and interesting. It's just how game design is. But there are... It still reminds me of some things that just are weird about game design. So, yeah, that's all the tabletop stuff I got, unless you did want to yell about anything with Star Wars.
Not in particular.
Okay. Well, I think the only other thing I would be remiss to go without saying before we decide to have a little baby endo here is that Falcon and the Winter Soldier did finish. 6 episodes came out. The last one was this week. I watched it at 3 a.m. when it came out because the show is really good, guys. I don't want to spoil any specifics. If you have not happened to watch it, perhaps you were waiting for it to all come out to binge it. It's really fucking good, though. Like, both in terms of the text and themes and the body of the work, really, really good. Some very important speeches, some very important character development for people. I think it strongly proves the fact that, you know, because they're transitioning away from some of the older characters and actors because, you know, some of those OG guys in the OG canon are getting tired of doing Marvel movies all the time. Like, it definitely sets up the idea that, like, both as an actor and as a character, Anthony Mackie and Sam Wilson can like carry a film, possibly with Sebastian Stan, Winter Soldier, Bucky, all together. It builds out the world a little bit. I know some people are kind of like, some of this stuff seems a little rushed, which it does kind of feel like. Apparently, they were planning on 7 episodes, but decided for pacing to cut it down to 6. So that's probably why some subplots seem like they resolve very rapidly. But all in all, it's a wonderfully written show. It really speaks to a lot of themes, and just the final episode starts with a really, really long action scene that takes up the first half, basically, and it's good. The choreo is so beautiful. For like a streaming only show, like a Disney Plus show, it's you can tell they had some budget to work with, and it's real good. It just looks sweet. The action flows. I love it. So it's a very good show, and you should check it out if you can. I do think overall it is worth your time. Like, I agree with some people that like the Flag Smasher plotline is kind of weird and like truncated. I think I heard some stories that originally this was envisioned as a like a bioterrorism subplot that obviously for real life reasons they had to completely trash and start over with. Because I'm not gonna fly. That's a plot we probably shouldn't do for a couple of years at least. But yeah, I'm very interested in future stuff. I have also seen the latest Loki trailer. That looks like that's going to be a trip. I guess the next Disney Plus show that Omega's going to yell about that will be Bad Batch, because that'll be May 4th. Gee, I wonder why. It's 'cause it's a Star Wars. It's a Star Wars cartoon, guys. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see. It seems like they're gonna go back to some of the darker elements of the Clone Wars, and like, because it's supposed to be post Clone Wars and kind of in that transition to the Empire period. That's usually pretty dark. Looks like they're maybe gonna be touching on some more serious stuff. That's gonna be really interesting to see in the animated format. Because while I will say like Rebels and definitely the season 7 of Clone Wars were dark, they were not necessarily like the darkest and grittiest Star Wars has ever been either. And Rebels definitely caught some early flack for a lot of its early episodes in the first season being very, very childish, even though I would not say it necessarily was purely for kids when it started, because in the first 30 seconds of the episode, Sabine does in fact do a terrorism and like blows up a public marketplace full of stormtroopers. Just saying. And do we care that she just murdered 5 guys on screen? Nobody does. Those dudes are dead now. Talking about, like, circling back to how we started the show, we're talking about, like, Yoko Taro asking the questions that other people just don't ask.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have these thoughts and feelings about narratives where you're just like, we really just glossed over that thing you just did there.
Yep.
In a different context, that would be really fucked up.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I have another thing for this. It is vaguely tabletop related. I don't really want to go in depth, but through the power of black magic, I have been shown some images of the latest L5R supplement that came out, Fields of Victory, the Lion Clan book. It's pretty sick. I like a lot of the content they did. They do a lot of effort on raising and maintaining your army, new rules for mass combat, and just general new rules in as well. Got some really interesting new schools that look pretty fun, some of which may make it into my recommended list, and just add in some extra stuff. I do also really like that they've brought back something that was kind of... They've touched on an element that's been kind of ambiguous in this edition, but was kind of poorly handled in previous editions of black powder. So in the OG L5R, black powder was called Gaijin Pepper, and it was mostly a foreign thing, which is absolutely not accurate to a historical fantasy vaguely based on Far Eastern Asia. Because in case you guys didn't know, the Chinese definitely invented that shit, and the Chinese and the Japanese did love it. It was only after we decided that Nobunaga was no good bad that we decided to separate samurai from the arquebus a little bit, maybe. But like black powder bombs and stuff are like a standby of a lot of Chinese and Japanese historical fiction. So that's always one of those many tiny things that I've always been like, this is not very on theme to make. Like, I think at some point they justified it as like, oh, it was invented by Rokugan, but like the Gaijin stole it and like did something with it. And I'm just like, that's dumb. Ignore it. But no, they bring back blasting powder, and they like talk a lot about the mechanics. The way they treat it is like, no, this is like a special alchemical blend. Like it's mostly only handled by like artisans and shugenja because it's considered to be sacred because it's really powerful and temperamental, right? I hear Lucky's phone blowing up in the background. I wonder what it's about.
I should probably check.
They decided to watch Last Encore anyway. They're confused. Tell them it's their own fucking fault. No.
Nah.
Sure, that's not happening.
No, they said, they found it and they're about to start watching today's menu.
Okay. But yeah, I do actually like, because they put blasting powder back into the hands of the Rokugani, and they're like, no, you only use it for like fireworks displays and like spiritual stuff, and like other than that, it's not handled by people because it's super dangerous. Except that it's absolutely handled by some people because it can be useful for warfare. And they actually have like techniques, like they have a ritual called Imbue Thunder, which is the ritual you learn to make gunpowder, right? And then they can talk about stuff. They have some item patterns you can apply to only blasting powder. You can add the screaming fire pattern to make it more flashy and terrifying, or you can add the burning water pattern to make it waterproof. Basically, it will burn even while wet or underwater.
I found a lizard.
So that's a really cool technical thing they're adding. I don't know if I'll touch on that in any of my game plans, but it's good that they've thrown that back in. But talking about like people interpreting things in context, there are some, because it is a book about war, there are some sidebars that
Fuck you! Oh, you animal!
Run
Death!
from you. You keep missing. You're not locked on.
And I'm not locked on. Death!
There you go. Got him. But because this is a book that can potentially be about warfare campaigns and stuff, it does have some sidebars which some people have complained about how, politically correct, social justice warrior, whatever some of these sidebars are. In general, I actually don't agree. I think most of L5R 5th edition sidebars that are like this tone are just like, hey guys, don't be an asshole in real life. Basically. Like, hey, if you're in a public space and you're name-checking deities that have been classically borrowed from a real-life religion, not that out of character, I think anybody who's actually Japanese will truly give a shit unless you're like doing it in a Shinto temple. As we've discussed, Japan is very blasé about self-references and how they handle their own media and remix it. But like, don't be a dickhead in public is most of a lot of the tone. But they definitely ask that question of like of thinking about like how, the Empire of Rokugan was formed, and that totally means that they definitely subjugated and suppressed some people who were native to the area who did not follow our new brilliant culture we formed, and that was probably bad. And some people are like, man, that's really weird that they phrase it as like, oh, imperialism is definitely wicked. I'm like, no, I think in the out of context of like, we're writing a book in 2021, I don't think you can say that even in a fictional context, like, imperialism is cool. Like, you can say out of character imperialism is bad, okay? Without like breaking away from it, because the ultimate point of some of this question is to ask stuff like, yeah, in a context you may have to think about, because you're all honorable and stuff, especially if you are Lion Clan, the focus clan of this book, you may have to think about how your ancestors did some fucked up shit to get where they are. And how are you okay with that? And it's like, and so I've seen some people respond of like, well, that's really dumb. You shouldn't give a shit at all those people were bad. I'm like, no, there's some open-ended interpretations of Bushido. You could be like, you could think that that's bad and not want to think about how your ancestors felt about stuff. It's all, that recontextualizing can lead to some very interesting stories, and it's always interesting, like I said, to see what people take for granted. The thing is, ultimately, I think we need to just... you had a tweet about this not too long ago, which I don't even know if it was necessarily just about the Nier thing, or just it was something you were feeling that day, Lucky. Where like you were like, people need to get better about realizing that fiction is fiction and reality is reality.
Yeah.
And like I agree. Like generally, I would not take a. Oh, that's a big something.
Yeah, it's
Lord.
quite... Oh shit!
He's fast.
Oh, he fast. Oh, that hurt. That fucking hurt.
I think Loth talked about board drifting, so I'm wondering if maybe this guy's gonna be like hyper accurate.
Okay, so blocking does not work.
No, he pierces.
But I made him. I can run him into the fucking wall.
That's obviously the strategy. Kick his ass. But what I was gonna say is kind of an interesting endpoint is that like generally, like I said, in the textual body of a work. I'm not going to assume necessarily that, again, talking about how, like, not all game mechanics are written to glorify whatever it is you're doing, right?
Yeah.
Oh.
Sorry, I'm trying to remember how to get... Okay, there we go.
You found it.
I need to inhale more. I need to inhale more herbs. More herbs. And this defense drop, because, Jesus, this thing's...
Eat them herbs.
Oh, fuck. He hurts. He hurts so bad.
At some point, you really need a little thingy that lets you know his HP bar or whatever.
That'd be
sadly.
useful, but...
I'm sure that's later. Love the design, like the little elements that like take this boar from being like a normal ass boar to like more though.
Yeah.
But no, yeah, it's just like, I like we said at the start. Well, we'll dovetail the show here. Just because something is detailed or written about does not necessarily glorify that thing. Like it can absolutely, and like people should be possibly wary of what the kids would call problematic subject being portrayed in a positive light, you know?
Yeah.
But overall, just acknowledging that something exists is not inherently bad, and I would not assume that, like a lot of people have a lot of weird, deep political thoughts about shit like D&D, and I'm like, listen, if people are, like, taking D&D as, like, a metaphor for imperialism in real life and shit, they have a problem, D&D doesn't have a problem, kind of a thing, like...
Yeah.
The thing you said about reality and fiction cuts both ways. Like,
yeah.
People who are concerned about fiction should be more observant of reality, but also people... Oh, you got some boar meat?
Yep, and a boar fang. Or tusk, excuse me. That was I do enjoy that one of the mechanics is I can literally just make it crash into the wall and beat it up. I love little things like that.
Yeah.
Check my
but yeah, it's just that's just my personal thoughts of like I do get that there are potentially like dangerous subversive books like and I've talked about this in other episodes of like inclusion and like open-endedness portrayals is actually really good because it can teach people to just be casual about stuff, but I'm not going to be overly concerned one way or the other about like always are we glorifying violence and feudalism? I don't give a shit. I believe that's a trope name, actually. Do not do this cool thing. Don't try stunts at home, kids.
Yeah.
That said, again, much to reinforce Lucky's point, I am quoting off Twitter. Lucky didn't really have a lot of input. He was fighting a boar in that last one.
Sorry.
Like, again, like... What about a fictional magic samurai game are people going to apply to reality? Are people gonna think that like it's cool to be part of a strict social hierarchy class structure?
Yeah, remember I was earlier talking about how I dumbed down my tweets so they're more just generally applicable and not hyper specific?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, this is one of those cases because what I was originally going to say was, if people are taking their life lessons on how to treat people and people that they may not have full understandings on from video games, they might need to reassess their life in various ways.
Yeah. And I like that you were able to, like you say, recontextualize that to be even more broad, because it really truly applies to things not just video games, but also is absolutely correct about video games as well. Like... Yeah. Yes, media can teach you about experiences you don't have and people you don't know and all that stuff, but also, like, if you rely too much on that to form your opinions of yourself and others, shit's gonna be weird because video games are fucking fake, dude.
Yeah.
Like right now, Lucky is a guy who I believe has been alive for like 1,400 years, if I interpreted the prologue correctly.
I don't know. It's like, there has been no direct connection saying these two are the same people, but...
Other than that, I'm pretty sure that they were physically the same people.
Yes.
And there was a spooky book. It's probably Spooky Book's fault. But, like, you're running around a almost reverted to medieval fantasy post-apocalyptic wasteland, punching shadows. Yes, some of these things are applicable. Some of the themes and thoughts people can make relate to other things. We talked about that earlier with like people having a lot of interesting thoughts and feelings about Nier. But at the end of the day, this is fucking not real. Some of these things are not applicable to anything in your real life. For starters, look at that jump height. You can't jump that high in real life.
Whee! Ah!
Did you? Yeah, hold on. Can you? Just do a standing jump for me, Lucky.
I can literally jump my entire height.
Even when you're doing a standing jump, you're like doing like at least twice, if not 3 times your fucking height.
No, it's not. It's like, oh, actually, maybe it is. Shit.
It's definitely like two
Yeah.
U's tall, maybe like
Yeah.
2.5. Cut
Yeah.
the difference. You can't jump that high in real life. I don't think anybody can. I don't think your muscles are designed that way. But if you can, that's like a special talent. Most people can't do that, which is okay. It's okay for video games to be fake about stuff, guys. It lets us explore themes and ask questions about our modern life. But just because we're exploring themes and asking questions does not necessarily mean that like we universally embracing the bad answer. This is just like we talked about with the trophy. Just because the trophy acknowledges that you can do a thing does not mean that it endorses that thing. And I am sure some people could take it the wrong way. They could be like, I'm rewarded for this. This is good. But like, most of those people are already fucked up.
Yeah, like I said, like, I think how you react to said stimulus is more a reflection on you rather than the stimulus itself.
Like, if you are literally out there thinking, oh, the game's gonna reward me for looking up somebody's skirt. That means it's cool. Like, no. And if you actually think that, you have learned wrong somewhere in your life and probably already have formative issues. But that's okay. Through my powers of criminal justice studies, I do know that that is a thing that can happen early, and you can not realize that you've developed some weird habits or behaviors that may be antisocial or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Did you just find a chicken egg on the ground?
Yeah, no, it's one of the quests.
Okay, all right. Because there was definitely, I'm pretty sure, not a chicken egg on the ground in real life there.
No.
There was just an icon, but... Well, I found a chicken egg. Egg. But definitely, like, that is something I feel like a lot of our attempts to, like, sanitize fiction don't address the fact that, like, yes, this may reinforce some wrong choices by people, but those people are already wrong. They are pre-wrong when we apply the situation. Do we need to constrain ourselves just for people who are wrong about stuff?
Oh my god, apparently having this boar tusk will let me ride a fucking boar.
Oh, maybe that was what Loth was talking about with boar drifting. That's fucking
rad. Oh no, literally, there's drift.
Yeah, there it is.
I can
drift button.
Ah, shit.
Nice and stick. Well, we can't end the stream until you drift on a boar, Lucky.
No, we can't. Hang on, I gotta go find a fucking boar.
That all said, though, I do think that was the conclusion of my point. So otherwise, we are probably ready to wrap up and let Lucky have freedom drifting boars. I can edit the audio together and go about my business.
Well, honestly,
actually,
like
get some dinner. I had a late food, so I should probably get some more food soon.
Honestly, once we get done here, I'll probably put this down and get back to 14. I got stuff to do in there. Mm-hmm. But
the grind.
Again, it's the grind. Like, unfortunately, I do feel like I'm putting way too much time into 14, but that's the unfortunate thing about MMOs. They're designed to take up a lot of your fucking time, especially if you're behind in content.
Yes, and I mean, we can talk about like the gameplay loop and whatnot, but like on the one hand, it's designed so that you feel the need to keep subscribing, obviously, right?
Right.
But also, I feel like it's designed to make you feel like you're rewarded for subscribing, right?
Did this just literally have a boar right here? It's like, what's up? What's up? Hey, what's up?
That's it.
Oh shit! Oh, we going? Boar drifting!
What? Almost went off the cliff.
Yeah, but
too fast, too boreous.
Oh god. Well, fuck you.
Yes, you can absolutely just obliterate sheep.
Wait, that was not a yeah, that was a sheep. This is great. I love this. Oh, ow,
Game of the year, 10 out of 10. Oh no, you hit the invisible skybox at the edge of the cliff.
I'm sorry. You okay? Are you okay? He's like, I'm fine.
I'm gonna take a nap now.
I'm just gonna take a nap. I'm okay.
That's pretty rad.
It is pretty rad. Ameka, do you want a boar drift?
I mean, we haven't tested the feature, so
yeah. Okay, let me see here. Let me give you control.
Somebody
here
did bring that up in chat that we haven't actually tested that.
Yeah. Okay. So hang on. Let me see here. So we do this, and we do this, and
okay.
Yep, that should.
Invited to share play. Visitor. Okay, we're connecting.
All right, you should be able to play now.
Some mornings. I am playing the host's game. Okay, that's some basics. Jump.
Yeah, push circle to interact with board. Hold R2 to... Yeah, there you go. And L2 to drift.
Speed force! Fuck you!
Oh,
I boosted into a wall. My camera did not keep up with my movements. That wasn't like a weird... If you were thinking that was like a weird stream lag thing. No, it wasn't. I'm just bad. Speed.
When am I... It seems to be working pretty good, though.
Yeah. What was the drift button again?
L2.
Yeah, this power slide. Hold on. Where'd you fucks go? Can I power? Well, it said for a second there I might lose connection due to poor internet connectivity.
Oh, Jesus. Just obliterating sheep.
Whee! Alright, well. Whoop. Oh. I meant to dismount, but okay, that works.
Alrighty.
Alright, yeah, no, it seems like it works pretty good.
Okay.
You are right, though. Like, this... I've controlled this game for like 5 seconds, and I'm like, nah, these controls are, meaty.
Like, I don't know.
Obviously, I am streaming it from your machine to me, but, like...
Yeah, give a solid jump. You just feel that moment it takes for you actually to get up there.
Yeah. There's just a little bit of extra, and, like, your movement feels a little bit, like, relaxed on the stick. The camera turn is a little... Yeah, there's that hang pause where it keeps moving while even though you let go of the stick kind of a thing.
Mm-hmm. Like, it's just, like, once you get used to it, it's not that noticeable, but putting it in your hands for the first time, you're just like, oh.
Yeah, okay. All right. Well, we've proven it works.
All right. That's what we have, so let's call it here, I guess.
Yep. Okay, all right. This has been What's Up Live. If you like this video, be sure to give it a like. If you have any comments about the many things we asked you about, put them in the comment section down below. You can also join our Discord. That link is, as always, in the video description and our channel page. We have fun there.
Mm-hmm.
If you are new here and haven't already, please subscribe to our channel to always get our latest videos, such as streams and stuff.
Streams. And
other things. And always make sure you hit that bell for notifications, because you never know when Omega's going to do another Gorilla stream. That's the point. But if notifications, you'll know. You can also support us by joining the channel. You can get access to emotes like those that were just in the live chat, which you can see in the replay. Hit the join button or the link in our description. And, of course, like it said, well, nowhere in the show until just now, maybe, you can support us on Patreon as well. You can get access to the audio of this episode, downloadable for as little as $1 a month or $10 a year. You can get access to other videos early, listen to us record other shows live, and lots of other fun stuff, and it really helps us out. It's going to be extra funny, though, because the audio version will have me do the Patreon read and have it inserted in front. Editing! Anyway, that's it, everybody. Have a good night.
Good night, everyone. See you next time.
And a merry Nearmas to all.
Nearmas.